Machinalisto, Ghostwatch, Ace Tone, Big Mario Rosa. What's cracking, man? What up? What up? What up? Big Drews, Junior, ASAP 831, ain't no thing but a chicken wing. Matt 510, Christian Bernal, David M209, Chupa mi verga. What's up, Manuel? Junior ASAP, T Mac, AZG, Dan Wutsky. What's up, man? Washington in the house. Michael's Auto Repair. What's up, Michael's Auto Repair? Way too real. What's going on, man? Andres Juarez. What's up, Big Figures? Nefarious. Julie Tolson. Long time, Julie. I hope everything's been good with you. 510 Big Dog. What's up, man? GS Dirty 30 530. Big Joshua. What's up, Joshua? What you doing in the comment section, though, homeboy? You know where you supposed to be at. Cupstero, what's up, man? Esteban Ariano. What's up, man? Battle 559, San Fran 415er, Oakland, Latinos United. You know, we got to chop that up. Yeah, legendary. You know, I don't use that word, Joshua, but I'm going to use it tonight, man. AG, man, shout out to you, my boy. You ain't doing nothing, Joshua. Tap in, boy. Yeah, legendary is a word that I don't use. Man, good looking out, Steelway 3-1. You know we appreciate you, man. But tonight, we're going to talk legendary, man. Oh, hell no. Who's this, man? Is this Joshua or is this funny bunny ass dude? Narcisco Espinoza. What's up, man? I'm assuming this must be this tall, long motherfucker, man. Fuck, can't shake this dude, man. Go get back in the shower, homeboy. Nah, not me, Julie. You know I don't do that. Hopefully, hey, if I become legendary, Julie, hopefully it'll be because of what I'm doing now. You know what I mean? Who's legendary? You guys are gonna find out real soon. I'm gonna tell you guys in a minute. We're gonna talk about it. You guys are in for a treat, man. I'm not gonna drop his name yet. I'm gonna give him that respect, but I'm gonna S1. What's up, S1? Ronnie, I don't want Aparicio. I don't want to mess that name up. Aparicio. I hope I got that right, man. Damn, man, it is this fucking long, tall motherfucker, man. Fuck, bro, what did you do? Take a fucking 2-minute shower? Damn, homeboy. Homeboy 1083, what's up, man? Oh, shit. There he is. What's up, 209? Martin 9400.
What's up, Martin? S1, GS. What's up, bro?
Legendary guest, Lencho. Nah, but it's funny you mentioned Lencho because this individual, I believe, is gonna have one hell of a lot to say about Lencho. It's somebody. I'm gonna just tell you guys like this, man. there's enough of you in here right now. San Fran 415, what's up? One. There's enough of you in here right now. So I'm about 90% positive that my boy is gonna come on this channel. It's all, I mean, short of a catastrophe, tornado or something like that, man. He's gonna be on there. This is somebody that I've spoken about at length in the past. I've talked about him in one of my old spills. You guys got to figure it out right now. But it was somebody that was in a spill of Arlancho, and it was a good spill, man. Just about the whole. I tell you guys like this. He was from the '92 indictments. Somebody that a major player in those indictments that got caught up. Leadership. So this dude's on the level of what I would consider legendary. You know, not just somebody popping out the woodwork that you've never seen before, or self proclaimed legendary. This is somebody that's in the history books, man, and just it's part of the history, straight up. Gonna come on here, man. And we're gonna talk. We got a lot to talk about, man. Trust me. Nah, there ain't no NF2 either. You know what I mean? I'm sure he'll talk about all that, man. I'm not telling you, man. I ain't telling you, Mr. 209. You fucking up, man. What's up, Buzz? He this is somebody that was deep in the mix, man. It was somebody that was part of an era that I would say, me personally, man, that regiment in '92, that San Jose regiment, was probably to date, man, one of the that regiment was off the hook, man. They were dropping bodies back then, man. Yeah, Inner Demons is coming out right now. It should be. Is it out right now already, or is it just still uploading?
It's still uploading. It's got 24 minutes left.
It's coming out tonight, man. I apologize, man. As you guys know, I got distracted. I got there was some interference, man. I'm not gonna keep speaking on it. I'm done with it. I addressed it. I spoke my piece. I'm done with it. I'm not gonna keep going on and on about it. But you guys know what happened. So it was something I had to address. To keep feeding into it is just gonna keep giving playing into the negativity, man. And I'm just gonna leave it alone. You know what I mean? It is what it is, man. So we'll just leave it like that. But it unfortunately it took me out my mojo, man. We ain't been putting out the kind of content that we usually put out, and it threw me off on Inner Demons as well, man. But we back on track, man. So anyway, oh yeah, we're Inner Demons. It's coming out. It's coming out tonight, man. I'm flattered you guys are asking about it. I've been meaning to put it out, man, and it seems like one thing after another this week is the force has been working against me, man. Real shit. If it ain't something that's going on around the pad, around the house, man, other shit's going on, and the days ain't long enough. I got a big project going on over here. It seems like every time I get ready to do it, fucking half the day's gone, man. I got all my coworkers sub to PM, man. Good looking out, Everlasting Base, man. You're a day one. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, we back on track, man. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, there you go, Joshua. Let me see.
What up, Spider? Manuel? Christian?
What's up, Manuel? Daydreamer? So
Why is this taking so
matter of fact, we'll cover a couple topics too. AZ Gunslinger, what's up, man?
Salute. I don't know why this is taking so long, but it just seems like all the technical shit that can go wrong is going wrong right now.
It's everything. Not only that, man. Uh, I got a new phone today, and these motherfuckers, man, they did some shit where they fucking activated one and cut the other one off. So I almost wasn't able to. It jacked all my fucking apps up where I couldn't download the shit and get it over to him. It's like, man, they just don't want their demons to air no more. Portland, Oregon in the motherfucking building. What's up,
What up?
man? Cadillac Chris, Big Anthony Cerna, Jorge, Key 123. Appreciate
What's
you
up,
guys
Joey?
tapping in, man.
Absolutely.
Fresh Seven Heaven, Gray Bullet, Professional Teller, Vincent Saldana, 191, man. You guys the bomb. Me and well, I mean, it's gonna be the three of us, but me and Joshua we're gonna kick a few things around too, man. Farmland Bullies, Eddie Aguilar, G's, Damage. Respect to all you guys, man. What's
up,
up, Joshua?
What's up, bro? I was taking my dog for his last walk of the night, and then just gave him some beef. I mean, some bison and some rice. So he's happy as shit right now. He's gonna sleep through the night. And I was gonna lay down, but I went outside and I tapped in, and I was like, "What? A legend?" And then the more I listen, I'm like, I feel like I might miss myself a historical moment right here. So
yeah, man. You know I don't throw that word out. Yeah, I seen that guy that they killed, the MMA member from they killed him out there in Texas. I seen that, man.
what's up, big figures? I see you, bro.
Yeah, you know I don't throw that word legendary out there, man. You know what I mean?
No, I know. Yep. Farmland, I got a people.
You guys keep guessing. I ain't gonna tell you. But
if it's who I think it was, I would just like the record to reflect. If you go back in the comments, if I'm right, I was the first one to guess correctly. Just say.
Yeah. You guys, man, you got some cold pieces of work, man.
Yeah, man.
Can't get nothing by you guys, man. Yeah, man, I'm just extending my respect to the brother, man. Is it Lizard? Lizard's dead, bro. He's worm food, man. I mean, I don't mean that in a bad way, but
that would be legendary.
He's no longer around. Yeah, Mario Navarro, Bam Bam. That's right. No. Yeah. You know when like I was saying, PNG Media. What's up, man? Yeah, you know, I mean, talking about those indictments in '92, there's certain individuals that were involved in those indictments that were part of leadership. Is it Suge Knight? No, man, Suge bullshit, man. Try to get him on, but like I said, Suge too serious about his brand, man. Who he allows to share his brand with. He'll go on there for Gilly's motherfucking ass, but you know, it's Suge. He's just selective, man. You know what I'm saying? Demon from Concord. What's up, Demon? But yeah, anyway, man, from that era, 92, there was a lot of history. All the way back from the Blancos to the fucking I mean, those cats in those indictments, they dropped 10 bodies, man. So I mean, them motherfuckers weren't bullshit. And that's when the NF had they were feared on the streets. They were that fear was there on the streets. What's up, Cesar Castellanos? If somebody cooperated, they get the fuck out of Dodge. What's up, Whack Deuce? It wasn't like you know, it is right now where you got all kind of people running around. They don't care. They're not. The fear is not there no more. You know what I mean? I mean, it's. And again, I'm not saying that in a bad way towards the fellas, but it's just it is what it is, man. Straight up. Back in those days, you couldn't get a motherfucker to live out there in San Jose, man. Not if he defected.
Right.
What's up, Gerard Robert? Yeah, but we'll have a lot to talk about, man. It'd be interesting. I'd like to get Joshua in the mix too, man. So
Yeah,
I
I'm
look
here for
forward
this one.
to it. Yeah, I look forward to it. I spoke to him today, and it was like, yeah, I'm I'm 90%, sure that I'm gonna go on there. But I want to let it be known, and it's not. This is on him. What's up, Farmetto? Again,
Metal
you come
coming through.
to the boy like a champ.
Salute from Merrill.
He said, I'm not gonna jump around and get used up like a hoe. You know what I'm saying? I'm not
Good.
jumping from channel to channel. So if a bunch of cats have intentions on reaching out, don't even try it, man. And that's just a respect thing. Um, so
Well, I would
it is what it is.
imagine.
Hmm?
I would imagine whether I'm right or not on who I think it is. Somebody with that type of history, right? Who's on social media. You know what I mean? They see everybody that's out here. They see everybody that's doing what they do, and so they have the ability to tap in and holler at whoever they want to holler at. You know what I mean?
Right,
There's definitely
right.
options, right? Especially
Yeah,
when it comes to folks from this half of the state. So, uh, I mean, I wouldn't take it as not reaching out as a slap in the face, but I would take it as like, hey, you know, they're gonna reach out to who they want to, you know.
yeah, yeah. It's just a respect thing, man. It's just I think it's more long when I talk to him and he can address it. But it's like there he doesn't know everybody. He knows. So I'll go on your channel. We got I
Right.
know you. But like jumping on all kind of channels for people to get views, he's like, I'm gonna say the same thing on your channel that I say on anybody else's. So
Right.
uh, I'm not gonna do that. And it's just out of respect. That's all, man.
Yeah. Hey,
He's not gonna say. He been in the cuts. Put it like this.
mhm.
He been in the cuts for a year. He
Yeah.
been watching for a year. So uh, he's well aware of the YouTube thing, man, and it's not like he just jumped on today, man.
Right. Right. I think it's a
Tino
trip,
Domino,
man. If you think about with all the what's up, Tino Domino? With all the with all the drama and the nonsense and stuff that can come with social media across all platforms, not just YouTube,
mhm,
right?
yeah,
And and even some of the different cliques, different organizations using these tools, as for recruitment, for punishment, for all kinds of things. One of
Ghost
the
Watch,
upsides is is you also have opportunities for to have people on that folks would not normally get to listen to or have a conversation with, right? Unless you happen to be around in that era, and
hmm
unless you happen to be in the mix, um, in certain communities or certain prisons, then you never hear from them. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And yet here with platforms like this, it's um, I remember being with Hobo on YouTube, and I'm gonna have him on again. I'm gonna have him on my channel at some point. I want to have a little bit of a different conversation with him, but that's an old cat, bro. That generally not a lot of folks gonna be able to talk to. Now he's not interested in talking about prison and all that stuff very much, but um, you know, and so it's interesting. Just people of that status in general. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's without this platform, without platforms similar to this, folks wouldn't be able to hear from people of those experiences. And I think it's cool that some of the older cats are willing to hop out there and have some conversations. Especially ones that that are a little more level-headed than some of the older people we've seen on here talking about stuff before. Um,
Yeah.
or talk about
Um,
what I can't decide.
Rating Gold 408. What's up, man? The Drunk Investor Mob Entertainment. What's going on, man? Gino Corubius. Um, yeah, man, you will hear more about the 80s.
Mhm.
Uh, Palmetto, I can only give you a glimpse, man. I'm not that old yet. But homeboy got a lot of insight into a lot of shit that was going on with a lot of those, a lot of the cats like Chante Arroyo and Skip's history and for those of you guys that keep asking about Wevel too, Wevel dropped out, man. Wevel finally had enough. He no longer has a desire to be involved, man. So you guys didn't know that, you know it now.
Mhm.
Um, but like some of the intimate details about what was going on back in those days, and what was happening in the regiment, and you know uh, some of the shit that was going on with leadership, and talking to homeboy, man. I know him. He's a solid cat, man, and his thing is, even though it is what it is, he still has a certain level of beliefs, man. It's not like he's pushing that line, but
Mhm.
his thing is, you know what, man, is I come on there, I'll speak, and I'll speak about things that might tend to help people. I'm all for it, and I talk about some of the stuff that I know people want to hear about. We'll go through it, man, but I don't want to become a stumbling block for people that I had solid relationships with. Skip,
Mhm.
Pinky, these are dudes that he still highly respects, man, and I can understand that.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I understand. So there ain't no push for me. Whatever he's comfortable talking about, we'll talk about it. We'll get into it, man. There's a lot of things that I've been wanting to say to you guys, or I've been, because I know, but me not being there, I can't stamp it. But somebody like him that was
Mhm.
actually there, now he can stamp it, and he can call some bluffs like, nah, that didn't happen, and
Right.
nah, that didn't happen, and this happened. You know what I mean? So I'm somewhat motherfucking excited about it, man.
Yeah.
you know?
I think one of the things that interests me about these folks, right? Just seas in general, honestly. You know what I mean? But especially older ones, right? And I'd put you in the older category, even though you're not as old,
Yeah.
right? Um,
Mhm.
but and I guess maybe about older, I mean less necessarily about age and more just about experience, right?
Yeah.
I get into like how did this unfold, right? Like I like people's individual stories. You know what I mean? How uh, a lot of us were kids in the neighborhood at one point, right? And how do you go from a kid in the neighborhood, if you even started as a kid in the neighborhood, but if your dad, if you did, what's up, Lentos Puto Mark?
Yeah,
um,
I hear you, Munchie. I hear you, man.
then
That's what's super, man. Appreciate
you
you,
know,
man.
how they got into this, right? And okay, you started going to prison. What made you go that route? And it's interesting because the older people or the longer people been around, their stories are different. You know what I mean? Um,
What's up, Paul? Yeah.
you
Unfortunately, I
know,
am a senior citizen. I got double ARP now, man. I hate to admit it. I just signed up for this shit.
yeah. Uh, Also, just since you bring that up, just in case everybody knows, you could be any age and sign up for AARP perks because if they don't allow you, then it's age discrimination.
I
Seriously.
didn't, I
And
didn't
so,
know that.
yeah, they don't market it to everybody and you don't get all the perks, but your little fucking free cup of coffee at Denny's or whatever, like that's,
Hmm.
you know, but yeah, I like people's stories. You know, the prison stories and the politics stories and all stuff is very insightful and enlightening. But also just like, bro, how'd you,
Paul
you
Spencer,
know, how
bro.
this happen? No, you're good.
Paul, absolutely not. I'm not, what the fuck am I gonna apologize to him for, bro? You obviously don't know the full extent of what happened. That motherfucker called me a chomo, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, I brought facts. Now, whether people want to believe it or not, and I got inside facts. You know what I mean? I used to run with Norteños. I
Right.
know about our politics. I broke it all down. I didn't make allegations. You know what I'm saying? But no, man, the apology would have to come from that side. You know what I'm saying? There's no fucking way in hell I'm gonna apologize to that dude for shit. He ain't even fucking man enough to accept responsibility. I'm trying to leave this alone, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? But to answer your question, nah, bro. There's no apology coming from me. You're entitled to think what you want. You can believe it. You don't have to believe it. I'm not concerned with that. You know what I mean? You can't take one dude's word for it that's hiding behind a mask when you got like 7 or 8 people across the board singing the same tune, man. So, nah, bro, you won't get no apology from me. That's about as backwards as you could get. I'm the same motherfucker that thought about taking the video down while I was getting stabbed in the back. Fuck, I look like apologizing to somebody like that for it.
And those are facts. I was on those calls.
Yeah.
I mean, not that Boxer needs me to co-sign what he says, but we had that conversation before, you know, before anything came up on YouTube. Um, it's ridiculous.
Am I gonna apologize for blaming him? God damn, man. Ooh. I don't get it. Anyway, I don't mean to throw you off your mojo.
Oh no, bro, you're good. You're good.
Nah, man, it's not because of me, bro. It's not because of me, it's because of him, bro. It's because of him. What you need to be doing is getting on his channel, telling him that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna explain myself to you. It's not because of me, bro. Understand where the accountability is supposed to be at. You know what I'm saying? I didn't go in on that dude. He went on me, bro. So what you not understanding about that, man? I'm gonna turn around and look like a fucking a fool if I allow myself to do that. Hey Tony, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. He reached out to Triple OG. Do you understand that? He reached out to him, not me. I didn't say, hey, OG, get on this dude. He reached out to him looking for some support, looking for anybody to help him. So don't say it's because of me. It ain't right, bro. And you don't like it, you don't have to be on this channel, man. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, you got you got the facts misconstrued and you're wrong, man. You know what I'm saying? You ain't looking at it through the right lens, man. Now, I'm gonna apologize to him. Boo hoo, Tony. You know what I'm saying? I guess I can understand not everybody is some people you have to just bring in a dead body and fucking drop it right in front of them for them to believe it, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
You gotta
Box, not
bring
to
the dead body and drop it right at their feet. You believe me now? The motherfucker's dead. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Box, not to interrupt you, but kind of to interrupt you. I just looked, and that person created their profile 3 days ago, bro.
Yeah.
And so they're just on here to talk shit. It's my money is on it. Somebody that supports Tony's channel or some other troll
Oh,
that
there's
just
no
wants
question.
to create a
Yeah.
distraction. You know what I mean? That's not a subscriber that really watches content, bro. The motherfucker just created the account a couple days ago.
But if he's really, if let's just say he's Tony or Tony's boy, or he's somebody that supports him, he ain't doing him no justice right now, because I'm trying to let it go. I spoke my piece. You know what I'm saying? I bombed on that dude, and I'm done with it, man. But you bringing it back up, uh, you're striking a nerve right now. Yes, you most definitely are.
Yeah.
You're gonna get my blood pressure all fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I like my computer too, man. I don't want to put my fist through this. Now go ahead, man. I'm just gonna just disregard that, bro.
Yeah, no, it's
My
all
bad.
good. It's all good. I just because it was throwing me off, and so on StreamYard I can't see that stuff. But if I go on my phone, then I can click and see. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
you gotta get you a
it's interesting
laptop,
because
oh boy.
yeah, it and it lines up with the timing of another troll hopping in talking mess, right? The whole Ale Benedict thing. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
somebody's just getting their rocks off. Um, but yeah. Uh, West Side Berkeley, bro. That's a hood that don't even exist no more. AV. Um,
Yeah.
you know, yeah. Um, to the best of my knowledge, I know a couple old school cats from there.
In Martin 9400, yeah, man. I almost did that earlier about something else, man. Almost destroyed my fucking girl's what is it that fryer, man, that air fryer.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What's up, Ezekiel? Mike Bristol, Anthony 831, Kenny Juarez. Yeah, man. Hey, we either gotta figure out a time where we can kick around those topics that we were talking
Yeah.
about earlier today.
Yeah.
Or grab one tonight, man. Wherever you want to do it, you know what I mean. But those were some good topics, man.
Yeah.
There's some good
Yeah.
topics.
If only we were recording a phone call. But
Yeah,
but that's what I tell people. You know, sometimes is that's sometimes that what a lot of times that's what these kind of live conversations are. It's just really a glimpse into conversations that we have anyways.
yeah.
What's up, Johnny? What's up, everybody? Sorry, I don't. You guys know, man. I try
What's
not
up,
to really like
Johnny?
cut people off.
Mr. Lopez.
But I mean, we can get into it now. I don't, it's up to you. I don't know what the timetable is in terms of Homeboy coming on. I guess we can stop.
Oh, he's not coming on tonight.
Oh, I thought he was coming on tonight.
No. It'll be this week sometime, bro. No, I just wanted to
Okay.
I wanted to throw it out there to these guys and let them know, man. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I hear you, Jimmy. I hear you, man.
Okay.
I got you. Manny boy, what's going on, man? Yeah, Munchie. Yeah, straight up, man. Even the answer, even to even talk about that stuff, man, it bothers me. Even to sit here and even acknowledge it, man. You know. But what's up, Sergio, Henry, Big G's? Yeah, no. So probably this week, Josh. He'll come on later this week sometime.
Okay. Johnny said I got a parking ticket 2 in 1 week. Yeah, in the city, that's how it goes.
Don't take it to
Mr.
heart,
Lopez,
Josh.
I will. Right.
Jay Smith said, "Don't take it to heart, Joshy."
my sister used to call me that.
Boy 14, what the fuck is this, man? A legend and Tony? What the fuck, man? Is it Obama? Obama is legendary, but no, it's not Obama, man. I was under the impression that Blood was coming on at night. Nah, man, I'm he's not coming on tonight, you guys, man. He might pop in the comments. That's on him. I'm sure he's listening right now. What's up, Timo?
S1. I see you.
All right, man. I thought somebody else ran the YouTube yada, homie. What's up, Power Up? Yeah, I know, man. I'm good.
It's a big hurt. No, it's you guys remember that 92 indictments were mentioned. That's a hell of a hint right there. Like that's your hint, right? Obama, Big Herc, other
What's up, Luke?
people, they weren't indicted with the NF in 92.
Yeah.
And so yeah. Uh, Julie,
These
yeah.
guys.
I mean, I know you guys boxer, but I know a lot are listening to my channel, and I'm sure many more are listening to Paradigm Media News. So yeah. Uh,
Yeah, I don't
mhm.
honestly, I don't really think much of it, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
If it happens, I'll be there. You know, if it happens, I'll be ringside, man. So we'll see.
Hmm.
What's up,
Um.
Mashika?
Let's
No,
see.
it ain't Moy 14. Nah, man.
So I mean, yeah, we can get into some of the stuff we were talking about earlier, I guess.
What was some of those what was one of the topics that we touched on?
So we hit on a few things. One, they could put me on the spot.
One was like what I kicked around with these guys the other day about like if you're a lifer under the old system, if you they had the
Right.
debrief die or parole system, right? You had that. Then you had the petition coming from coming from actives, how that's kind of like resorting to the administration to you know where that's it's a no-no, man. But times have changed, man. I'm from the 90s, 80s, and it was hard in the 90s, but I rode it out from all the bad to good. Now and again, this
Hmm.
powers. Yeah, Munchie, the 80s and the 90s were treacherous, man.
Hmm.
What else, Scarface? And then you had another issue, another topic.
Yeah. So some of this talk about about what's gonna happen when these yards kick off, right, and how they go together. Actually, there was a few. So maybe we'll start with this one. So I was talking on my live yesterday briefly, and somebody had hopped in the comments and said, "Hey, the Carnal Silk said, you know better than to be doing what you're doing, especially with boxer, something to that effect, right?"
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I put the comment up and I addressed it. And what's up, big
Big
figures?
figures, man. Good looking
Uh,
out, big figures, boy.
I put it up there and I addressed it. And and Boxer and I've kind of talked about this before. I know Boxer's talked about it before, but like I said then, I expect him to say that. You know what I mean? Because he's in the mix, right? And so um yeah, I know him. We were never best friends. We were never enemies at all. It's not like we grew up, eating out of the same top ramen cup.
That's right, Jay.
But I'm aware of him. I've met him. I've sat in his house, and I have nothing bad to say about him. You know, it it was cool, but I expect him to say that because of the lifestyle that he's involved in. Um, it doesn't bother me. It and goes back to something that we've talked about a little bit before, but being out of prison gives the luxury, frankly, and it is a luxury, to be able to judge people on their own merits, to be able to determine who you want to engage with and who you don't want to based on whatever system you have set up, right? And so that those should actually be normal, right? And that's the bigger part of the conversation that Box and I were having, was how we make abnormal shit normal. Like, we don't critique our thoughts, and we're like, hey, this is just the way that it's supposed to be. But is it really? And at some point, I was talking about how if I came home and I tapped back in, right? Or I tapped in, period, not tapped back in, but I tapped in, with regiment stuff. Odds are that I that I was going to get caught, right? In fact, guaranteed. you either get killed or walk away or go back to prison for life, right? Like that's what happens when you function in a regiment. And so it and so I would like to believe that if I was popped when I came home, that I would have held my mud, that I would have just gone and sat down for the rest of my life, right? And I don't say I would like to believe that like as if, yeah, right.
Yeah.
As if
So
as if
very
from a place of pride. I don't say from a place of bragging or boasting or pride, but just based on the way that, based on my belief system, I would think that yeah, I'd go sit down, right, and take it on the chin because that's the well-known cost for doing this business. At the same time, like when I was talking to Boxer earlier, I had just dropped off my son at school. Daughter's upstairs sleeping. I was gonna come up here and make breakfast for them. And if I knew then what I know now, I'd be disgusted with myself if I went and sat down for a life sentence. If I had options to not go back. I'm not advocating telling. I'm not encouraging anybody to go tell. I'm not like that's not what I do. Right. I never have. I'm not going to start now. You won't hear me do it in the future. I'm just talking about me. I'm not even talking about other people's choices. Just talking about me as a man. If I was to get busted tomorrow and they trying to pin a shooting on me that I didn't do, am I gonna give up my kids and my life and my lady? Am I gonna not ever see my kids graduate from any other grade like I just got to, this past week, 2 weeks ago? For what? So that I can keep it real, right? It's that is not actually a rational or wise or reasonable decision. You know what I mean? Hey man, I'm gonna sacrifice being who I am to the family that I have. I'm gonna throw my kids and everybody to the wolves, and I'm gonna go do time for something I didn't do, or I'm gonna go do more time than I need to, so that other people, particularly in prison, think that I'm righteous and solid. But where does that righteous and solidness really pay off, right? Like it, they're not gonna pay the bills for my kids. You know what I mean that's just not how it works. That's not how it's set up. Um, and in particular with the way politics are now, but I think this goes back, in history as well. It You could still wind up getting whacked over somebody having a temper tantrum. You know what I mean? It's you could still wind up losing your career. If I'm sitting in prison right now and I have a date 6 months from now, and I've been down 10, 15, 20 years, and the doors pop on this integration, and I'm expected to stab somebody, I can't say honestly right now what I would do if I was in that situation. I could tell you what I would have done before. Um, and so Box and I were kind of talking about that and the competing loyalties. When you're young, or when you don't have a lot, when all you have is a neighborhood and all you have is the fellas and all you have is this prison identity, then of course your loyalty is there and there alone, right? And that's how it was for me doing time, and was like that till the moment I walked out the gate, right? Uh that's all I was loyal to. And prior to going to prison, that's all I was loyal to, right? I wasn't loyal to anything else except neighborhood shit. And but now that's not true. That's just not true. I'm not a teenager. I'm I'm not on a prison yard where I live in this bubble, right? I'm in the streets. I have kids. I am much more loyal to my kids than I am anybody else, especially people I don't know, especially people that expect me to do things that would take me away from my kids, especially people that would just as soon cut my neck as they would put a knife in my hand to cut somebody else's, right? I'm I'm not loyal to that. So, now it's easy now with the rah-rah language of oh, you're not active, or you're a dropout, or you're this, you're that. And I'm not trying to push back on any titles that anybody wants to put on me. I've been very upfront through all of this about myself, my choices, my thoughts, my evolution, frankly, since I've been home, my evolution even since I've been on YouTube. And I'm not loyal to that. I'm loyal to my lady. I'm loyal to my community, right? I'm loyal to those that would rather not go to prison, and try to help them. So does that make me an enemy? Does that make me an opposition? In some people's eyes, yeah. Which that doesn't bother me. I don't lose sleep over that shit at night, but it's just interesting. I wish folks that were maybe a little bit younger, or a little bit younger minded, and I don't say that in a disrespectful way, would get that earlier. I wish I got it earlier. I went to prison for something I did, right? And that's not everybody's story, but I shot somebody that sits against the law, and I turned myself in for it to make sure that the guy who was busted for it wouldn't go down. What's up, Aaron Perez? Welcome.
Hey, good looking out, Aaron.
And I went to jail, right? So that wasn't a setup, and I haven't been put in a situation since I've been on the streets to have to make that choice of whether I'm gonna ride it out or not, right? Thankfully, and a lot of that is because of choices that I've made, and a lot of that is just luck. You know what I'm saying? Some of it's just luck because I've fucked up since I've been home, and shit. If you talk to Silk, he can tell you, right? And so, and then Boxer was saying how for his experience, right? You were saying how you go out and you go right back, and how you're still kind of in that space, but you're out and you stay off.
Oh yeah. And what I was saying that is the point I was trying to make earlier is like, it's when you're in the mix, you're in there, you're active, and you're doing your thing with the fellas, man. And you come out, like a lot of times, man, I barely stayed out a month, 3 weeks, and I was already back, man. I couldn't stay out. Because they were watching me. I would always pick up an associating with another gang member or something like that, man. And they hit me with the flat year every time. It wasn't no 30-day trial, none of that shit, man. But my point that I was making was, so when you're functioning and you're programming like that, you come out in the streets, you plug in, and you're working on the streets, and you get cracked. It's always hard to get locked up in the FaceTime and catch a new case. That shit's always hard, man. Those of us that been through it, we all know that. But what I was saying is, like, when you're able to stay out for a good chunk of time and you're able to accumulate a bunch of toys, nice car, a bike, a lady, a couple kids, and you're established, but you're also functioning, man, when you get busted, it's a lot harder, man, because all these things that you're loyal to out there now it's kind of like, man, it's a lot harder, man. It's a lot harder for when you come out here and you learn that it's a bigger world, and that there's a lot more going on to what you've been, that little dark corner that we keep ourselves trapped in. Right. It's a lot harder, man. I said mine's Henry. It's a lot harder to have to be able to readjust, like to forget about the streets, forget about your wife, forget about your kids, forget about all your nice toys, and fuck, man, you know what I mean? You got to go back and give it all up. Even though it is what it is, man, I've never got on here, not one. You can't show one episode where I've ever advocated against cooperating. It's it's dirty. It's bad business, man. I've always said it. Even though I'm transparent, I still feel like that, man. I know
Mhm.
it's probably kind of funny for people to understand that, but it's still. I always say that it's bad business, man. I've never pushed anybody to go and tell on somebody. That's the way to do it, man.
Right.
You know, but those individuals that that say I'll never go out like that. How can the homie go out ass backwards? And how, man, look, if you ain't been there in that situation, you can't speak on it, because trust me, man, I used to say the same
Right.
thing. You know what I mean? I'll never, man. I used to fucking tell the homies on the yard, man, all the time, never count yourselves amongst that trash, man. Them weak motherfuckers, man. You know what I mean? They turn their back and they're willing to sell their own mother out. They catch a 90-day violation, they'll sell you out. You know what I mean? But when you get in that situation and you're looking at triple digits, I'm not talking about no slap on the wrist. It used to be fun. You used to be able to do that in the 80s and 90s. 16 months, come back, do 2 years, get out, come back, do 3. You know what I mean? They're taking chunks now. But it's almost comical how fast people change. Like, damn, you would say no, now you get it now, right?
Right.
You still know
Right.
now you get it. You know what I mean? Like, here come, this motherfucker come walking in, you know what I'm saying? See? Um,
Mhm.
it's a cold game, man. It's a cold game. I mean, you got one chance. You live life one time. You
Mhm.
got one chance. You drop the ball, man. There ain't no coming back. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? There ain't no coming back. Um, it's a hard undertaking, man. Either way, to have to go to prison and give up the rest of your life and say fuck my kids and fuck my wife and fuck
Right.
everything that I used to be loyal to out there, and I'm just gonna stick it out with the homies. That's a hard choice. It's also hard on the flip side, man, to um, have to make those tough choices, man.
Mhm.
It's uh, a lot of people that say that, though, the ones that chirp, I don't do that. I mean, you can say that because, like, you went to camp. You
Right.
know what I mean? You're on the 1 yard. You know what I'm saying? You've never been to a level 3 or 4, and as long as you continue to not function or not be a part of those circles, and go out there and function in a regiment and
Right.
go out there and play those type of games that'll get you. Them cops don't give a fuck about people selling dope. They don't give a fuck. Hey, you gotta eat, man. You know what I'm saying? It's when you mix that up with prison gangs is when they like,
Right.
nah, we ain't playing that shit. That's when they come after you, man. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But I don't know, man. I've just
Yeah.
noticed in the past a lot of guys that say that, though, they're hey, I went and did my time and I got out and I kept it 100 and I'm still loved in my hood. That's cool, man. But like, who'd you function with? You know what I
Mhm.
mean? You're functioning a regiment. You know, you don't put yourself, and you're smart. You know what I'm saying? You're smart. You didn't put yourself in that situation.
Right.
I did. I didn't make the best choices when I was 18. I got right in the thick of that shit, man. And that's what happens, man. That's what happens.
And
It's crazy, bro. My whole fucking damn near my whole regiment flipped.
right.
You know what I mean? And the regiments that came after me, uh, look, it always goes down the same way, man.
Yeah.
Get 30, 40 cats, and a bunch of them. Those that can go, they're gonna go.
Mhm.
Those that they approach with a sweet deal, they're gonna jump on it first.
Right.
Those that don't got no deal, or they ain't got, it's not beneficial for them, then they're gonna play hard. Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
gonna ride it out. But you ain't got there ain't no deal for you. You know what I
Right.
mean? There's nothing for you. So, but
Yeah. You ain't got action. It's
it happens the same way, man. Every indictment I've ever seen, I'm sure you see
Mhm.
it the same way.
Yeah.
The 92 indictments, I mean, a lot of them dropped from the top. Big Chente
Mhm.
Arroyo,
Right.
uh, all those guys, man. You know, Sammy's regiment, Charlie Campos regiment, they all flipped, man. Why?
Well, like that 92 one, that, and I wasn't in the mix that type of shit. 92, I was doing
I
juvenile
was,
time in 92 out of state,
but I
right?
was in the
So
city.
yeah, so I don't take this from a personal view, like, oh, I was there and this is how it happened. But just knowing a little bit of history, there was a lot of bodies that was dropping around Santa Clara at that time. You know, that wasn't a drug dealing indictment, right? That was that there was a lot of people died. So when you got a lot of bodies, you got a lot of risk, right? You got a lot of exposure when the feds come for you. You know what I mean? The feds will kill you. The feds put you on death row, they will kill you.
Mm-hmm.
And you catch a body as a part of a RICO indictment, they can kill you. And men are stubborn. And I know from the legal side, I've helped fight to get people off of death row. And that's the only that was the only aspiration. That was the only intent. It wasn't like, oh, let's find them not guilty, right? But it's funny, even the stuff of like people going out backwards and this and that is, again, we're kind of raised up with this language, and is that backwards? Right? It's because, and again, I'm not knocking folks that choose to affiliate.
Like what I said earlier.
Whatever. Yeah.
You talking about like what I said earlier?
Right. When you said, like, oh, folks going out backwards, and I think part of the issue is another thing we were talking about is so let's just say the organization, right? Because this is not unique to NF or anything else, right? They all in this way function pretty much the same.
287 in the house, man. We appreciate you guys, man.
All right. So they have you believe when you make that lifetime commitment, they have you believing there's no opportunity, you can't walk away, right? You get a little older, your values change. All this, I see people in the comments all the time, man, you knew what you signed up for. Bullshit. It's even if you knew, what I thought I knew at 19, my life don't look the same at 40 at 19. So you're asking me to still uphold something that I committed to at 19, but I'm fucking 40 years old. And my world has changed, my life has changed, right? But so you have people, they get older, they don't want to tell, right? They have no interest in telling. They don't want to lock it up. They don't see themselves as S&Y or D12 back in the days or whatever type people, right? But man, I'm ready to go on to a different stage in my life. You know what I mean? And we had talked about this before in terms of the whole like retirement policy, right? And lack of it.
Triple OG.
Yeah. And it's they create this fear where people don't want to stay tied up in the mix. That doesn't mean they want to turn on anybody, right? There's a difference turning from and turning on. And I think a lot of people are happy. They're ready to turn from. The stumbling block is the turning on, right? Like that. That's scandal. But if you give them a chance, then they don't hurt. The reason they have that whole lifetime thing and, oh man, if you walk, we're gonna kill you and all this other shit is for them. It's not for the benefit of the organization. It's not for the benefit of people. It's not for the benefit of those that they allege to represent. It's for their benefit. Because now that it's a catch-22. Because now that I've told you over and over and I've grilled it into your head that if you do anything that can remotely be seen as disloyal, if you're on the phone and you tell your loved one, you know what, man, I'm thinking about hanging this up. No matter what you do, anything, then you got to go, right? But the reason you got to go is because you're a threat, you're a liability. And why are you a threat and a liability? Because we've told you that if you leave, we're going to fucking kill you. We're going to hunt you down. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. So I've made it to where you can't walk away from me, or it's very difficult, at least, for you to walk away from me without relying on law enforcement, right? but then turn around and be like, oh, look, they're weak. They mess with law enforcement. But who's weak? Who's really weak, man? Because you're trying to force people to stay in a mix that they don't want to stay in. And
Yeah,
and and it's a mess. We were talking about the whole, snitches get stitches and shit, right? And you have brought up a good point about the difference, right? In kind of a neighborhood or a culture difference.
yeah. That I gave a great example of
Yeah.
it's a little Tookie's a prime example, man. Personal friend of mine, Tookie there was a lot of political fallout because of who Tookie was. Um, he wrote the children's books, and he did a lot to show these people that he was trying to redeem himself. And I think a lot of it was real, man. I knew Tookie. I talked to him. I had a lot of conversations with him. However, Tookie, it was his own belief system, his own belief system. It had nothing to do with Crips. It had nothing to do with gangs. It had nothing to do with none of that. Um, I even mentioned it in my book. For me, it wasn't about North Daniels. It wasn't about the NF. It wasn't about that. What it was is about the belief system that I grew up with as a kid from my parents. You don't tell on your brothers and sisters. Nobody likes tattletales. Get the fuck out
Yeah.
of here. You know what I mean? Fuck, don't come fucking over here and fucking be a little tattletale. You know, that's a belief system that a lot of our parents instill within us. So to get put in a situation where you have to compromise those beliefs that your parents instilled within you, it's a little different, man. But they killed. I honestly believe that had Tookie say he debriefed, say he was up. You know what? Okay, here it is, man. I'm gonna give you guys the whole fucking cha-cha. I'm gonna tell you guys how it all started between me and Raymond Washington, and how everybody that was involved in here's a couple cold cases. I believe that even if he would have went that route, there's a good chance they would have killed him anyway. You know what I mean? Or they might have given him a little action. It was because Tookie held his mud and said, "You know what? I have no interest in airing out, um, you know, uh, all my my information, all the things that I know about my past lifestyle. It has nothing to do with the death penalty, man. I think because he held his mud, they killed him, man.
Yeah.
I mean, look at what he did. He wrote those books. He did pretty much everything he could short of debriefing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And when he said he wasn't willing to compromise that, I believe that they looked at it as like, you know what, this dude, he's playing hardball, or they took it personal, man. So he had to
Yeah.
go. There's too many politics involved with him. It was more about sending a message, and
Right.
especially like this is what we do to founders that create gangs that turn into fucking nationwide epidemics. You know what I mean? But that was one example. What else were we talking about, man?
What is on that snitching piece? What's the guy we hadn't talked about, but sort of piggyback off what you had just said. The system in general, policing in general, um, believes that we collectively, folks involved in gangs, folks in the neighborhood, folks whatever, are irredeemable, and the only way we are redeemable to society is if we get their stamp of approval, right? If
Mhm.
we don't get their stamp of approval, then we haven't changed because we've had an adverse relationship with law enforcement. And so, unless you don't have that adverse relationship, unless you you kind of submit, right? Not kind of, but unless you submit, then you're not redeemable. It doesn't matter what you do in the community. It doesn't matter the way that you change your lifestyle or your behavior. It doesn't matter what line you're pushing. None of that matters. What matters is, have they stamped you or not? And if they haven't stamped you, if they haven't broken you, basically is what it comes down to. If they don't feel that they've broken you, then they will continue to throw that label on you. And because it fits the broader narrative, right? That's what justifies their treatment of us, of the rest of us, right? Is none of you are redeemable. If you want to be seen as the exception, here's your route. But if you don't do that, then you're not. And which is fucked up because I mean, for a lot of reasons, but we're not beholden to law enforcement. Sure, there's laws and you're supposed to follow laws and that kind of stuff, but we're not talking about breaking laws or not breaking laws. We're talking about the character of an individual, the identity of an individual, the worthiness of an individual.
Charles Manson's dead too.
Yeah, he died. Yeah. And so it, be a leader, not a follower. We have brought up the thing of like, I took the class at juvenile hall, and one of the things I would do is I would come in and I would say, hey, how many of you guys, how many of you know somebody that's been told on, right? Everybody's hand.
All the hands go up.
Every kid, everybody knows somebody's been told on. Okay, cool. How many of you guys know who did the telling, right? Like you're aware of at least one person that has told on somebody else. Not just the person told on, but you know the teller. You know who the teller is. Every hand goes up. Okay. How many of you guys have heard in your neighborhood? Folks be like, oh, he's a rat. That dude told. That dude this. That dude that. Right? And kind of giving you a heads up. The fool that lives over at that house, bro, he this or he that. All their hands go up. Well, the first thing was though, hey, how many of you guys have heard snitches get stitches and all their hands go up, right? And is that true? Yes, that's true. Okay, so then I go through those other questions. Okay, so what you're saying is, you said snitches get stitches and that's how it goes, and it's a zero-sum game. But you're also saying that you're aware of people walking around your neighborhood right now that are told on people, and there's no consequence, right? So again, I'm not advocating people to go tell, but critique your thinking. And that's when Boxer had made the point of some of us hold some of those values that we have, not because the gang rules told us to, like I didn't believe in telling, before I picked up a red flag, and I picked up a red flag pretty fucking young, before I even knew what I was doing. You know what I mean? I was called a gang member before I knew I was a gang member. I thought I just hung out with my friends, and so there's others, especially since this whole stop snitching thing or no snitching thing or whatever has become a pop culture fad, right? It's a trend. It's been a trend for years. They got t-shirts, they got beanies, they got rappers, they got everything, right? But you have people that ain't never spent a moment in the hood saying that stuff. You got people who never had cuffs put on them, who have never known anything that they could tell on if they wanted to tell on somebody for something, right? How they're, oh yeah, man, stop snitching, this and that. And they get caught up and oh shit, they can't point fast enough, right? And I think I haven't done like the number research on it, but I think it would be interesting to look back at the rate of people cooperating, right? People, cooperating in cases, right? Particularly gang cases. And the rate of people leaving the fold behind the wall. Especially right, like Buzz had mentioned before on one of his videos. Like, hey, I know people that locked it up just in their bus from county to reception center. They locked it up, right? What's up, Paul? And
Big Paul.
And so why? And we can look and say, oh man, those people are weak. Those people are this. Those people are that. Everybody has their own situation. I'm not gonna pat them on the back. I'm not gonna crucify them, right? Like, it's their thing. But it's true, Sun Tzu. But if for a lot of them, they don't believe it. They're staying loyal because they're told they have to be loyal, right? They're staying in the mix because they're told. They're threatened if they leave the mix. They're told they have to stay in the mix. They're told these things, but it's not a core value, right? Whereas with a lot of other people, it is a core value.
Sure.
So you have people sticking in these fucking toxic lifestyles and these harmful patterns for so long, and people wonder, like, man, why? From the outside, bro, the rational world views us all like we're crazy. What? Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Right? Why you gonna go sit down for a life sentence, something you didn't do, man? Why? That makes no sense. Why are you going to effectively end your life in society?
Yeah, majority society don't apply those kind of beliefs in that.
Right.
Yeah, the majority people, you fucking crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, right. And
like, I ain't doing no fucking time for you, man. They'll tell on you in a hot fucking New York minute, man.
Right. And we'll brag about it. Right? Like to them, that is a source of pride. Look, man, I'm not so stupid that I'm gonna ride your beef. I'm gonna let it be known now.
209.
You know, you wanna break the law, don't do it around me because I ain't riding your beef. You know, you'll have people that will say that. And because for them it's common sense. And then you have people that fucking go round and round and round and sure, we're responsible for our choices, we're responsible for our activities and all that. And I'm not saying that. And again, I'm not saying people should run around and tell. But what I am saying, and I think what Boxer is saying, is we got to get to a point where we critique what we think is normal. And if we can come to that understanding, then maybe we can make better choices before we get to the point where we're sitting at a detective station cuffed up and they're asking us, hey, bro, is it you or him? Who's going to get the better deal, right? Like, that's not the time to have some fucking epiphany. The goal is to have an epiphany before that happens, right? But for a lot of people, it's a fad, and they're pushing this narrative that they're not living up to. I challenge folks, man, find me 50 people that have worn a Snitches Get Stitches shirt, who have also taken the life or made a very serious effort at taking the life of somebody that cooperated with law enforcement, right? It's a trend, but it's sucking in our young people, where then our young people, you know, they're young and they're like, fuck. You know, they're not in prison. They're not into prison politics. They're not into nothing, right? And they're young, but they believe this is normal. This is how everything works, right? I'm 10 years old, and this is how the world works. Everybody believes this. Everybody's on this page. And that was my point to the youngsters in juvenile hall, because then they start thinking like, fuck, man, you're right. We say it, but it's not true. Now, they didn't go line up to go tell.
Yeah.
But maybe that would change their behavior when they come home. You know what? This whole like loyalty by default shit don't play. That's not actually how things work. Maybe I should check my behavior, man, because if I go fucking around, I'm gonna catch a case. And if I catch a case, these dudes ain't gonna have my back. I stated I was willing to commit the crime, but not do the time. I won't snitch. I was just mentally weak for prison, I believe.
Yeah, I hear you, Miguel. Sometimes though they're get put in a situation where they're like, you know, you got to do the time, or you got to do the time,
Right.
Otherwise you're gonna have to accept the consequences, man. And I get the whole, you know, if you're gonna play, you got to pay. And I mean, that's the same song and dance I used to sing, man. But again, you know, for the majority, I can say this, man, and I'm comfortable saying it. The majority of the people that get caught up, same people that sing that same tune, when they get caught up and shit gets real, and it's you in that situation, and your family's all fucked up because they know that you're in a bad situation, and it's you, and you're holding that paperwork in your hand from the court, that what do they call that shit? What do they call it?
The
Your
discovery or the plea or
the first one that they give you, your charges.
your arraignment stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a
when you got
charging document. Yeah.
when you got that, and like I said, it's you. I've seen it over and over and over. Cats
Yeah.
change. I mean, it's
Mhm.
it's comical, man. It's comical.
Yeah. And
People's priorities really start coming up. You know.
right. And it's funny, man. And Box, I'm sure you probably got some kind of stories around this, but working on some of these legal cases and
Yes.
speaking specifically for for the folks to kind of run up north, right? Speaking specifically about the NF.
Daly City North.
Oh, what's up, DC Norte? You got people who are fighting cases. You have some people right now fighting cases that I'm aware of, but historically it has not been uncommon. You're out there, you're functioning with a red, you catch a case. It's not your decision if you fight that case or not.
Yeah.
It's somebody else's decision.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what, man? I know that they're throwing a shitty deal at you, right? And the 1st deal is always a shitty deal, right? I know that's a shitty deal. You're gonna have to go ahead and take that, right?
Yeah.
Because if they take it to the box, if they take it further in their case, discovery is gonna come out. What's gonna happen when that discovery comes out? Some motherfuckers are gonna look bad.
Yeah.
People that are in powers of position. And you have other people who have no action at beating their case. None. They are red hand in the cookie jar. And the cops come with deals. The DA comes with deals. Look, man, we got you, but here's the deal. And not a deal that involves cooperating. I'm not talking about deals that involve telling. It's a whole separate category. And they're told you can't take that deal. You have to ride this out because we want to expose the moles, right? Somebody's telling, we don't know who it is, but they caught you. And we think that some of the knowledge about how you got popped can benefit us. So why don't you go ahead and keep fighting your case, bro? Even though you can't win, keep fighting your case because we want that discovery to see if we can figure out who the confidential informants are. Like, your life is not your own. And these choices are not made out of your best interest, right? Nobody's like, hey, bro, you know what? You got a few kids, you got this, you got that. They can't offer you that. Well, they can, but they won't offer you that empathy, that compassion, that love, frankly.
That's right. I hear you, Miguel. Yeah.
Because it's a threat to their agenda. Your agenda doesn't matter. Your family doesn't matter. Your hopes and dreams don't matter. The fact that you just did a boatload of time and you never thought you were going to come home, but now all of a sudden they're about to crack the fucking doors and let you out. And you're like, holy shit, I'm going to see the streets again. I'm scared. Maybe I want to stay out. That'd be cool. Nobody gives a fuck. Your family does. But it's just twisted, man. Like, but I would just encourage us to stop and think about the things we say and the language we use and what we consider normal. You know what I mean? And again, because it's not for the dudes that's sitting on the yard right now watching this, right? I mean, maybe they get some from it too, hopefully, but it's for the people that have a kid that's out there in the streets, 10, 11, 12 years old. It's for the guys that have a 1-year-old and they're telling their kid already, hey, fool, stop telling, don't do this, don't do it. You know what I mean? And instilling those values. Now, you don't want to tell your kid to go run to the fucking teacher's office every time, they get their feelings hurt either, right? Like there's a balance there, and you don't want to set your kid up to get eaten on the streets either. But the line that we've pushed has been too extreme for too long. And somebody had said something about folks not being built for it. It's true. And that's not a put down. There's shit that I don't know if I'm built for. I don't know if I would have been built to be an NF member. I don't think so.
Who is built for it?
Right. Oh, good question.
Who's built? Like who's built for it? Somebody that just don't put no value on freedom. Is that somebody that's built for it, or is it somebody
Mm.
that thinks it's you know yeah, I guess somebody that just doesn't value freedom. And I understand again, man, that I get it. If you're out there fucking around and you're out there taking those kind of chances and you get caught up, you all know what's coming. But some of us, myself, I can speak for myself. I got caught up at a very young age. I got drew into this, man. At 18, I was green and I was inspired by the homies, by the NR. And back then, like I said in my spill earlier, the cause was a beautiful thing at one time.
Yeah.
I really believed in the cause when it was a cause.
Right.
And for me, it was about making sure that the homies could go to a yard. It didn't matter if there was 5 homies on that yard and it was 150 ops out there. They could go do their time and take off their shirts when they wanted to take their shirts off. It was all about status of equal status of equality. It was about social status of equality. If the Africanos, the whites, the Sureños, the Asians, the others, if they had some of the better jobs out there, the clerical, working in the laundry, we want them to. We want if they're going to vocation, we want them to. If they got 2 handball courts, 5 tables, 3 phones, we want ours too. So I was all for being down for my people, man. Making sure that they didn't get abused. I was willing to put myself on the front line and engage with anybody that tried to oppress my people. That's what I signed up for. I didn't sign up for who's got more money now, whose pockets are deeper, who's in a higher position. The money, the politics, and the jostling for power, man. That all came when the NF took its vision to the streets. It used to be about, we used to care about what the fuck was happening in Folsom, in Pleasant Valley. Now you're starting to see a little bit of that. But you know why? Because they're out there now. The NF is out there. So now they're more involved with what the fuck's going on in New Folsom, what's going on in High Desert. When we were all in the SHU program, nobody give a fuck about none of that. We were trying to make money. Hey, they're out there on the main lines, man. There's hermanos out there, and they're well capable of taking care of themselves. That's what it was, man. I was back there in the SHU. I was part of that that circle back there, man. I seen it with my own eyes, man. And I know because I was back there busting moves myself, man. You know what I mean? We didn't care about none of that stuff. We stopped caring. And homies that were coming in, getting locked up. I've said it before. Just now you're just another liability. You know what I mean? You get locked up, you're just another hungry mouth to feed, man. You know what I mean? But the cause changed, man, or the cause died. The vision changed, man, and that's why you've seen so many people, so many homeboys dropping out in the 90s. That's why. I mean, it's obvious something was happening. You don't just get this big influx of dropouts for no reason. Something. I remember when it was going on, I was like, fuck, something's going on at the top, man. It's at the top, and it's that's what it is, man. You know what I mean? It's at the top, and they're making bad moves, and this is the result. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of man, bro. I remember it didn't even come as a surprise anymore when 2 or 3 homies, dropped out. I'd be up there in Quentin, and I get these ganas. They send them to me, and they'd be like, hey, from my tier securities or from the securities in there, hey, homeboy dropped out. He sent all his razors and all his paperwork, but he said he's done. you know what I mean, get another one. Hey, homeboy's done, bro. He says he's cool. You know what I'm saying? It was like a fucking regular program, man. It was regular
Yeah.
program, bro. These dudes, it was happening. I heard stories of like 10 homies walking off the yard in one shot, bro. Um, you know, so you know, I can say for myself, that's what I signed up for in '88, man.
Yeah.
I signed up. That's how the cause was presented to me, and that's what I believed in, and that's what I was pushing, man. And then things changed, man.
Yeah.
Well, ask me, you know, what when it changed, you know, how come you just didn't go? I didn't want my name to be drugged through the mud like that. The way I
Right.
looked at it, man, is you know what? I'm just gonna keep pushing, even though I see the dirty shit that's going on. I'm gonna keep pushing, and as long as it doesn't affect me directly, I'm just gonna keep doing what I've been doing, straight up. I'm gonna keep the money coming. I'm gonna keep every time I hit the streets. I'm gonna keep doing what I do, man. What I've been taught, and you know, it just a lot of shit changed, man.
You know, in Corcoran, and Munchie, I see a bunch of your comments, bro, and yeah, I rock with every one of them. Uh, in Corcoran, you had folks who hermanos, right? That would parole. What's up, Big John? They would parole, and you know, you're strongly encouraged to look out for the house, blah blah, right?
C Dog, yeah, Dizzle
And
916. What's up, man?
um, and they would come back, and they hadn't sent a package to who they said they would send it to. They hadn't put no money on the books of somebody, right? And there was people, right? There was C's that was like, "Oh, bro, that's a wrap. Your career's over." You know what I mean? Wait,
Mm-hmm.
your career's over because you didn't sue somebody. These were not people that went home and functioned with a reg or nothing else. They were just people that went home. You know, and like we've talked about before, right? Like the belief, the propaganda was that the obligation stops at the gate unless you choose to do otherwise. So, but they had said, "Oh yeah, man, I'm gonna look out for you. You know, I'm gonna look out for you. Okay, look out for this dude, right?" And okay, I will. And they don't. And I remember Marcelli there, Carlitos telling me, we go through the B&Ls and stuff. And he's like, "No, man, take this person off the list. Take this person off the list. Take this." Like, no, this is bullshit. You don't know what happened, man. Somebody went home and maybe they didn't get the job they thought they were gonna get. You know what I mean? Maybe they had a medical emergency in their family, maybe whatever, and they didn't have the funds to look out for somebody. You don't
Mm-hmm.
fucking kill their career for it, right? Like and but that's the type of behavior that would do you in. And the other thing that he would kind of drill into my head, right, was the law, right? The law is what protects you. You're faithful to the law, not to any individuals. And as long as you know the law, right? He was talking to me as as a hermano, um, as long as you know the law and you know it
Mm-hmm.
in and out, and you stay faithful to that, you can't go wrong, right? You can't go wrong because we all, even though he's a C, I was a B, it all runs in sync together, and if you just stick with that, you're fine. Okay, we
Right.
all know anybody that's done time, and anybody that's done time from Northern California beyond 90 days for DUI, and even folks that haven't done time, but just for the neighborhood, we all know there's a shit ton of people who followed the law, quote unquote, and their careers got ended. There's people that
Yeah.
have died following the law, right?
Yeah.
There's people that have been whacked following the law. There's people that have not followed the law and they're well respected and well regarded and in positions of authority, right? So that whole narrative, I I get why he was teaching me that, why he was schooling me on that, and I think he really believed that at the time, but it's just not true. It's it, it's a personality coach. It's a business, right? And And I think that's another reason why a lot of people left. However they left, whether they came home and didn't want to engage, or whether they locked it up, or whether they took off on people and left the yard. No matter what they did, I think that's the reason that a lot of folks around my age, at least, left, was because of that. You know, man, we signed up for something, and the longer you play the game, the more you realize it's rigged. And for some folks, it's depressing. It's not just like, oh, you got the best of me, or oh, you hustled me. It's 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 crushing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's finding out that the love of your life got kids with somebody, somebody else. And so yeah, people are like, fuck it, and they walk, and everybody got their own path, everybody got their own journey. I don't judge anybody for the choices that they make in terms of that stuff. um there's some quote unquote active folks that I wouldn't have a conversation with if you paid me to. And there's other people that are not in the favor of different criminal organizations that I count as good friends and would much rather spend time with. It's, but it is, there's a letdown there. It when your parent, when you play t-ball or softball, and your parents and your coach are telling, man, you're the best, you're the best, you're the best, you're the best, right? And you go to high school and you don't even fucking make the team. You know what I mean? They're like, damn, fool, you can't catch, you can't throw, you can't hit, you can't, like, you're slow, you can't play for nothing. It's heartbreaking because people have pumped you up to think something else, and you really believe that. And I feel like that's what happens behind the wall is we get pumped up to believe something else, and then we really fucking believe in it. And then you get to a point where you're like, hey, bro, this none of this is true. None of this is true.
happy early birthday to my boy's 10-year-old kid, man, Damian Vargas, man. Happy
Oh, there you
birthday
go.
to your boy, man.
Hot Wing Friday. That's right. Yeah, it's a mess.
Yeah, it is, man. It is, bro. What was there was some other things that we were kicking around earlier, man. I mean, it's kind of along the same lines, like I was saying earlier, man. So when you're active, bro. So I remember I spoke a little bit about this the other day, but I wanted to have a conversation with Josh. And there's no offense to Sandman. Sandman hasn't been to prison, so it's kind of hard to relate. But I was in a situation where the administration was playing games with us, and they basically told us that they were going to put us, or they were going to put some another group on a yard with us, and and we didn't believe it. It was like, yeah, right, man, get the fuck out of here, man. And they were going to do the same thing with the Crips and Bloods, and they were like, hey, this is what we're doing. It's administration thing, and so somebody had one of the other individuals from the other team that was supposed to come onto the yard started to circulate a petition, somewhat of a petition. I don't remember if it was a 602 or if it was like some type of group, some type of group action, man. But it required everybody that would have been a participant that was on, the yard, and the ones that were going to be put on the yard with us to sign it. And we're like, hell nah, we ain't signing that, man. That was interpreted as, you know what? Why are you going to turn to the administration and sign off on that? It's basically like telling the COs or telling the administration, hey, don't put them on my yard because they're my known enemy. And if you put them out there, we're going to engage. Our thinking was, hey, if that's the move that you guys are going to do, go ahead and do it. You guys know what you're doing. and they don't need to be reminded
Right.
that we were enemies at that time. So our thinking was, hell no, nah, don't even send that over here. Ain't nobody touching that shit. Nobody on this yard is signing that. So when somebody made a comment the last time we did a live, they made they alluded to a petition that was circulating right now between the active general population yards and the SNY yards. What wasn't clear is who initiated that. And my thing was, if it's coming from the actives, which I tend to believe, honestly, I tend to believe that it is and I'm not picking no sides here, man. But I tend to believe that it's from the actives. They don't want to be on the yard
No.
with these guys, man. They look at them as they're trash, they're degenerates. I get all that, but that's not how we run politics, Playboy. That's
Right.
not how we used to.
Right.
Um, you got to slug that out, man. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? But politics have obviously changed these last 15, 20 years. They're
Right.
doing some shit that we would have never thought about doing. So I was just interested to hear what other people think about that. Um, and me and Josh kicked it around, and he basically agreed with my take on it, man. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
anytime you resort to the canine, it's considered, it's written in the bonds or the old
Right.
bonds. It's considered frat. Anytime any kind of cowardice dealings with the
Mm-hmm.
canines,
Right.
that's how it's interpreted, man. So
Yeah, because you're relying on the administration to fight your battle, right? And
mhm.
the way I was brought up, bro, they say you're going to this yard, you go to that yard. You know damn well you're gonna have to get off when you get there. But you
Yeah,
don't tell them, man, I can't go there, I'm gonna have to get off.
yeah. I'll sign
No,
something. Let me sign something. Let me sign a
right.
paper or something. I'm not
It,
going out there.
no,
Don't do that, man.
it's and because I think in a lot of our minds, or at least the expectation was folks would see it as an opportunity, right? I see you, bro. Be
Yeah,
safe.
all right, demon.
People would, it's supposed to be if you buy an active person, quote unquote, right? Which we didn't have that shit back then, so it's kind of hard to compare. But that's an opportunity.
That's
That's an
right, demon.
opportunity for you to go get off on some ops, right?
Yeah,
That's an opportunity for you to do something to people that a lot of people wouldn't be able to do because they're not in that situation. You better take that opportunity. You know what I mean? You better let them know, and and even if the numbers, cats will go down south, which now apparently you got folks from the north going down south, and there's an agreement where they get to establish a presence in prisons where northerners have never walked the yard. But
mm,
because like you said, politics are changing. It's all kind of weird. But which I don't advocate violence, so I'm not upset about that. It's just different, and now folks are kind of down there doing their thing. But before you get shot to Sentinel or Ironwood or Calipatra or whatever, you better get rocking with the first thing, first person that you see. And now no, and I remember I had asked you about, I don't know if you want to touch on it, but I had heard um, from multiple people that don't know each other, but who would know about something like this, right? Incarcerated people that that there was actually paperwork floating around in which
yeah.
the North in particular was saying, don't put us with the Flores and don't put us with the Bulldogs
I
because
got that paperwork. I told
we
you.
will,
Remember?
yeah, yeah, we
Yeah.
will, kick it off, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because we because we have this end of hostilities, but it doesn't apply to them. We're going to be hostile if we're together. Well, again, that like boxer, that would have been seen as a cowardice act,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But it everybody's just out for themselves at the top. you know, um, and damn everybody else. Paul, yeah, actually, I'm gonna have a lady on the channel. Um, I had a long conversation with her actually earlier today, and she's gonna come on and talk about that rally on July 11th at Sacramento. They're just the families, and you hear them talk, and it puts this shit in perspective because they don't know about prison politics, they don't care about prison politics, and
Yeah.
um, and so she'll be on to talk about that actually in the next few days.
Nah, man, GR ain't like that, man. He touches on, I was telling him earlier, man, when we talk, man, um, we open up each other's minds, man. He touches on shit that, like, yeah, man, that's another great topic right there, and so I don't mind having conversations with them. It's stimulating, man. It's uh I like to engage in conversations like this, man. And there's very few people that get on there and do that. You know what I mean? It's good for you guys to hear about some of that stuff, man. From guys that have been through it, different perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
Where was
No, I
where'd
agree.
you go?
I agree.
If you do a deal and debris, so to go SMY, does the administration not have an obligation to keep you safe or away from you, away from who debriefed about? Surely they can go back on their word. I mean, an obligation, they're supposed to, theoretically, right? How far they're going to go, CDC at the end of the day, they don't give a rat's ass, man, about dudes out there, job security. As far as they're concerned, man, they like to stir the pot and see people go to war, and they don't really care, man. As long as they go home at the end of the day, um, there's some people. I'm sure there's some people that do, some CEOs that work there, but the ones at the top that don't get it, they don't understand, they don't care. The ones that don't ever go on the yards and see what's out there and what they're dealing with, the higher ups, the big wigs, they don't care, man. Sure, the I think it's called an 812, man. When they go through the debriefing process, they're supposed to put a keep away or something away from people that you've.
Mm-hmm.
I believe so. I don't know. I don't know though, because like shit, you got motherfuckers that been around for a long time, been in the mix, and like they're naming off everybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got to put them somewhere. So
Right.
I think it might be like just shit that's not just necessarily everybody that you talked about in your debrief, but they try to keep they're supposed to, man. But I don't think it happens a lot. That's why there's so much shit happening out there, and that's why they just don't keep everybody away from each other, man.
And especially you're right, especially with the end of house, with the integration and stuff. I'll read you guys just real quickly. I had did that video about the memo in Solano, right? That between the MAC reps and administration where they talked about bringing the Bulldogs, what the program would look like, and I read it. You can see it on there, but I pulled it up real quick because actually the first question that was asked hints to that point that you're making, not specific about debriefing in SNY, but about ese tontin, but about CDC's responsibility to keep people safe, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they had a memo April 11, 2022, titled "Housing of All Incarcerated Persons to Expand Rehabilitative Programming." States, quote, "The primary objective of these changes is to allow all incarcerated persons, regardless of their security threat group status, opportunities to focus more on educational goals and rehabilitative programming and achieve greater personal success and societal integration." They said, however, that's the end of that quote. The people asking the question said, however, Title 15, blah, 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 states, quote, "Every employee, regardless of his or her assignment, is responsible for the safe custody of the inmates confined in the institution of the department," end quote. So then their question is, just because new law requires equal opportunity for all incarcerated people, it doesn't mean to haphazardly jeopardize the safety of incarcerated people in the process. What is CSP Solano's plan to safely and successfully integrate the security threat group Bulldogs into level 2 dorm setting and offer progressive programming? And then they gave an answer, but that just kind of outlines some of their steps. But that goes to the question that you're asking in terms of, isn't there some responsibility? And the courts, from the Supreme Court on down, have consistently ruled that the prison administration is responsible to do all that it can within its reach and capabilities, maybe, to keep people safe. But they also cut them a lot of slack when people get hurt and say, well, prison's a dangerous place. They can't do everything. You know what I mean? So it's hard to hold them accountable.
Yeah.
There's real talk, Sister Trina Paula.
Mm-hmm. Some fools get whacked because of the officers, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see.
Yeah.
I think you're partly right, Paul. But it's, as long as it's controlled, right? Box and I were talking earlier, and I mentioned this dude Tito from Solano that a lot of you guys have heard about in other spills. Who's a degenerate piece of shit by politics standards, right?
Tito from where, Stockton?
Yeah. So, yeah, Ramon Arriaga. But so
yeah,
he had the keys to the yard, and we got off on the south siders a couple times. It was effectively harmless. Nobody got stabbed, even though people got sent with knives. Shockingly, nobody got stabbed. Nobody got cut. Like, it was not, for those of you guys that have been around for some real prison riots, these were not prison riots. These were run across the yard, swing a couple times, get sprayed, and everybody lays down. But the Southsiders were really low numbers, and so it was an abusive relationship, right? It was a bullying relationship between North and South in that prison on that yard, right? But when the potential for a conflict of the woods kicked up, no, he had to pump the brakes, right? Because he knew if we got off with the woods, well, he's not going to dictate how the woods are going to behave. Some of them woods are going to come out with knives. Some of them woods is going to be with the business. Some of them woods is going to take it up a notch, which then is going to require the same on the side of the North, right? And so now you're going to have some real bloodshed and potentially have a conflict that continues in multiple waves. The conflicts with the South Sider was never a wave conflict. It was a conflict, period. It ends. We come off lockdown. There's nothing. Some months later, it happens again. But each incident was the end. It was the beginning and the end every time. So administration allowed that, right? Because it wasn't too disruptive, and they got to get their overtime pay and all that other stuff, right? What's up, Gangster Mo 310? And so they allowed that.
That's right.
But they would not have allowed, if us in the woods got off, it was going to get out of control. And what was going to happen if it got out of control? Tito was going to get pulled off the yard. What happens if he gets pulled off the yard? He's not shooting dope anymore, right? His luxurious living he had over there is gone. And he runs the risk of being exposed to people who will actually do something about his degenerate status, right? Whereas there he didn't. And so yeah, administration allows certain things to happen. They also, more often than I think people realize, and I have no reason to think that this is not true now. If anything, I think it's probably more true now than it was then. There's arrangements with leaderships on yards that it's a mutual relationship. The administration will allow some things and doesn't want to see other things. And you have folks out there who play that game with them. Okay, cool. Hey, man, if you guys do this one more time, we're going to snatch you up. All right, don't trip. Hey, homies, you know, then they'll come up with an excuse.
Yes, sir. That's true.
Off top. Man,
Prison system does utilize certain prison politics to keep conflicts to an arm so they can continue to fund prison system. Yeah, man, it's a you got a lot of different moving parts, man. But CDC is dirty, man. The administration is dirty. They know what's up. I mean, this whole thing about what they're doing right now. I might feel like I might have my own opinions about what they're doing as far as integrating these yards, but they know what they're doing, man. They're gonna get people hurt. They're gonna get people killed, and that's what they've done throughout history, man. You know what I mean? Um, they know that once they move it to the level 4 yards, it's going to change the schematics, man. Everything's going to change. Um, they know people gonna start getting killed out there. That's what it's gonna take for them to stop doing this shit. It happened in Corcoran with the shoe wars. They let it go on for so long until they started shooting people, man. They started killing people.
I heard today that it was either 4 or 6 people confirmed that have been killed specifically behind integration, not cleanups, not nothing else, but either 4 or 6 people that for certain were killed just as a matter of creating 50-50 yards. And you know that's they've only been dealing with level 1s and 2s for the most part. That number's going to skyrocket. It, it you can get
At
that
the
number at
level
one
3 and
percent.
4s.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh hell yeah.
You can get that in one day in one prison. You know,
Because you got lifers on level 1 and 2s, but they're more. You got more on the level 3 and 4s. There's more of them out there, and
right.
they ain't got nothing to lose. You know, they're fighting for their to maintain some integrity out there to keep their yard cleansed.
Right.
That's what the actors do. Keep it cleansed of all the degenerates and the trash and the people, the weirdos and all that shit, right? That's what they're really fighting for. And the these other guys, S and Y, a lot of these dudes, they got access to grind. It's personal. You know, they want get back. They want some run backs, man, and they're just is game. But you know, at the end of the day, CDC, they're the ones that are pushing the buttons, man. You know,
Yeah.
so
True.
I never lose sight of that, man. But
Right. No, that's important. Hey,
integration is gonna weed out and separate the hardliners from the predators. Yeah, that's true, Lupe. That's definitely true.
yeah. Casper, I'd like to hear more about that, man. If you got a way to tap in with me offline, um, I'd be interested to hear more.
Where is he at? What is he talking about?
Oh, he's up there a ways, like 10,
Corleone.
19. Yeah.
Myself,
Just about
for
people.
sure.
I'm
Many
curious.
would agree what a screwed up time. And he went to prison, tore up.
No,
Before
back.
that,
Yeah, he's at 10, 19, right after where Fast Ass Dave says your whip's looking nice, Josh.
okay, here you go. 10-19.
Yeah. Right before AC about
Here we go. This Tito was the beginning of end for structure too. Wall and Tracy, 95, 96 had the bros all grouped up walking the yard like a gang. The regular homies started bumping heads with them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know Tito it started was that much of a started to have that much of a role, man. I was with him in Susanville like in 90,
Mhm.
89, 90.
Yeah, that's the beginning
Yeah.
of his time.
Yeah,
Uh,
he just came in. He was a youngster. You know what I
yeah.
mean? We got off on the 2 yard, and we all went to the hole. He was one of them. He was one that went, and
Mhm.
that's the last time I seen him in Susanville. But I had heard throughout the years he ended up getting in trouble and got a bunch. I didn't know he was this involved though.
Yeah,
You
he
know?
yeah, I mean he I'm I've heard some things about him from different places. Obviously I have some experience with him. Um but I'm interested in hearing more, right? To kind of flush out that picture.
Yeah,
It it's interesting what Casper's saying because it the problem in Solano, bro, was among others, but is hermanos would come from other yards. They'd come from other prisons, right?
yeah,
And um and they let it ride. You know what I'm saying? They weren't like, hey bro, this fool needs to go. Right? There was some of us that would tell the people coming in like, hey bro, we think this fool needs to go. And they're like, nah, bro, you tripping, it's good. And so there was a real question, like what do we do? Right?
mm-hmm.
Because we're not getting people with authority to come and green light this, but there was a big separate. I'd never, not that I've been on a whole ton of main lines, but there was a huge separation on the yard in terms of those that were striving or those that were politicking or whatever, and the majority, which was folks that was just doing their time, and and it was a very lax yard in terms of that stuff. Um, which I'll get into more another time, uh, but yeah, I heard later that he was actually whacked in the hole in Tracy. Um,
Yeah.
he was cut in the neck. Uh,
Gave
and
him a
but then I
Kool-Aid
heard
smile.
no, no, just a little in the back of the neck, just like that, and
Oh,
nothing major. And I'd heard that it was a matter of discipline, which when I came through the system, at least, there was no that type of discipline wasn't handed out. You shouldn't even have hands-on discipline, let alone whacking somebody. But I don't know if it was different before, but and then I
yeah.
heard that he was removed, but he was able to come to Solano and set up shop and did a damn good job at it, man. Didn't get a good job at running the shop, but did a good job at starting it. And he was sharp. That fool was sharp. Um, you know, he he was faulty. Um, yeah, he was sharp. Uh, so yeah, that's interesting though, Casper. Uh,
Sam Romero. What's up with my brothers? Just got off. Well, what's up, Sam? That's right, man. Go get your fishing on, man.
that's right. Yeah, it'd be cool to go to Solano. Uh,
By the time I get to the Bay in '98, they were dissolving the use of bro.
yeah,
Yeah, that's when it 97, 98. That's when
yeah, they killed this shit.
pulled the plug, man, on the whole movement.
What's your?
Cats.
You've probably talked about this before. Um, I got mixed feelings on it, but what's your thought on that happening? Um,
What's that?
um, yeah,
Pulling the plug?
yeah, yeah.
Shit,
In in terms of the
I was part
impact,
of it. I was, I
yeah,
mean, I was part of it. I had a vote in it. You know what I mean? We there was a lot of us that were involved in that, bro. In the thing about it was, I had mixed feelings about it, bro. Straight up, a lot of us, most of us were bros at one time. I had a lot of love for the hermanos, that whole movement, man. But
right.
the thing was, man, is I mean, I know you understand why, uh,
Hmm.
but you know Greg Lopez's and the Donkey Kongs, man, and the Jasper Uribis, these dudes that were considered catalysts for creating the chaos amongst the ranks, man. We started actively trying to whack these dudes, man, and it by the time the NF took an active role in trying to weed out these rogue NR members, it had permeated. It had there was 100 peewees, there was 100 DKs. So, collectively, man, the thinking is, you know what, it's time to just dismantle the whole movement, pull the plug, bring them all back in under the fold, right? Bring them back into the fold. And that's the only way we're going to regain control. That's the only way, because nothing else was working. It was just like I break it down in the book. I kind of touched on it. It was like a big ecosystem, man. The hermanos were feeding on the norteños, the regular non-structured northerners. The NF was hitting the rogue NR members, you know what I mean? But I had mixed feelings about doing it, because you had a lot of hard-lined NR members that they didn't want to become NF.
Right.
They wanted to stay NR members. That's what they believed in. This is my NF, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They had made a lot of sacrifices in their lives, man. And by doing that, you had dudes that had NR blasted all over them, tatted up, and to take that title away from them just created another wave of individuals that were turning on the NF, and another wave of good, solid homies that were just like, fuck this shit. I'm gone, man. I'm done. You know what I mean? Who are you guys to take away this? This is what we believe in, man. You know what I mean? No, I understand that part of it. It was a rough thing, man. I mean, but to be honest, man, straight up, it was never dismantled.
Yeah.
It was never dismantled, man. You know what I mean? A lot of it was propaganda, bro.
Sure.
It was propaganda. All we did was change the terminology.
Right.
But they were still identifiable. They were still identifiable. The hermanos were just norteños. The northerners that were never clicked up were northerners.
Northerners, right.
So it never went away. It was never really dismantled, man. It was propaganda that was put out there. It was also put out there to skirt the validation process. Too many good homies were getting validated.
Right.
And they weren't even hermanos. They really weren't.
Right.
They were getting hemmed up and thrown in the shoe program because they had a Welga bird or something, or a fucking star on them. Right. So some of it was for that too, man. But like they get everything. The canines get everything. They ended up intercepting they ended up intercepting paperwork that basically said the NR it's never really been fully dismantled. Right. It's propaganda, and it's because a lot of homies are getting validated too, man. But what else were we gonna do though? What else were we gonna do? You had these dudes telling a lot of these other NR members, and we were like, the way we were looking at it is like, we're about to lose control of this whole movement. And if we don't make some hard choices, make some big moves, we're gonna lose them, and it's gonna turn into a full-fledged war between the NF and the NR. Mm-hmm. That's where it was heading, because these dudes were telling them, hey, we don't need to take direction from you guys no more. We've established ourselves. We're our own identity, our own entity now, right? And that got kind of scary right there, man, when they started talking that it called for drastic measures, man. So I got mixed feelings about it though, man. How you feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, in some way I view it a little bit different, but only because some of that upper level behind the scenes stuff I wasn't privy to. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so and so what you're saying makes sense in terms of, I mean, that all that makes sense. I think there's it's hard, man, because on one hand, I can find myself talking about, this movement, the struggle, the cause, right? The basically the NR values, right? And the
Mhm.
NR teachings and the potential for good that exists within them, right? And how it's a different movement, it's a different agenda, frankly, to the best of my understanding, than the NF has, right? And so um but and I believe that. And there's also a lot of rogue bros that were abusing Northerners and abusing their authority, that was creating those divides on a yard where you had people
Yeah.
that was like Brian fucking politicking, right? And which is contrary to the whole purpose of the bros' existence, right? Like
Right. Right.
it, you would think it should be that hermanos on the yard should have the most unified yard, right? The most camaraderie on the yard, the most everything. And and that was true some places, and other places it wasn't, bro. So I've seen hermanos that their heads got too big, or they overstepped, or they were abusive, and a lot of that like borderline in even neighborhoods and cities breaking off, right? And oh man, we're gonna be the Stark Tank, we're gonna be this, we're gonna be that, and
Yeah.
um,
Is that right? Let me see.
but uh,
26. That's cool, man.
so there you
You
go.
guys deserve the credit.
Mm. And and so I get that something had to be done. I
Yeah.
think at the time, which what I wished or what I thought could happen, it sounds like really wasn't actually possible at all. I just didn't know that at the time, but
Man,
it was,
2602.
hey, good shit. There you go.
Oh man. Shit.
And and I feel like, man, the bros should be able to clean up the bros, right? The NR should be able to clean up the those within its ranks that are abusing their authority and doing this and doing that, right? And but again, I'm hearing from you, and I remember reading that in your book, is that actually wasn't going to be able to happen, right? Because of other shit going on, and kind of renegade folks, and so I didn't realize it reached to those levels, right? At the time, you know what I mean? I was a kid, bro. I was, 19, 20 years old. But it I still stand by or think, shout out Renee Q. Um that
Yeah. Shout out to Renee Q.
uh
How you
that
doing?
always support the chat.
Yeah.
But that that the NR had, and this could be a little bit of home teaming to an extent, right? Even though I'm not in that anymore, but there's some residuals sometimes. That the NR had a better agenda than the NF in terms of for the people on the yard,
Yeah.
right? Um,
Yeah.
and I think, while I know that technically it wasn't disbanded and it was just a language change, right, and everything else, I feel like, and I haven't been in there in a long time, right, obviously, but I feel like, despite that point being made, right, because we heard that at the time, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
that that it still really did cause a change. I mean, while it did really do away with bros, and it, I think it, uh, I think it hit some egos kind of hard, because
Hmm.
information that was privileged, so to speak, before, now wasn't quite so privileged, right? And so you had some
Yeah.
people that was like, "Hey, I've committed to this, right? I'm learning this. I'm teaching this. I want to school the Northerners on the yard on this material in an appropriate, balanced fashion, right? And if they choose to make this commitment, then of course, that'd be great, right? But But looking at the environment, there's so many Northerners that ain't politicking and ain't doing this and ain't doing that. And you're like, okay, but so now you just put us all on an even playing field. You can fuck with the semantics, but and not a. I think for some, I'm sure it was just the ego hit, but I think for others, it was a thing of of we're committed to a cause, and a lot of
Yeah.
these other people aren't, right? And you've just mixed up the pot. I don't know, man. It's I have mixed
So
feelings.
yeah, you were saying that you believe that the NR they had basically better intentions.
I
That's what
think,
you.
but I'm not saying the individuals, right? Because I didn't know, DK I'm familiar with, right? But I wasn't at that level. I wasn't in the
Right.
back. So, but as a on paper, maybe is a better way to put it. I believe on paper, the NR was far better, frankly, for the people, so to speak, than the NF on paper. You know,
Yeah. And what when you say on paper, like what did you see or what did you interpret that made you believe that? Like what
it
was the NR doing?
on paper, and like I said, there's a lot of NR members that are being abusive and using their
Right.
authority and all that other shit, right? But on paper, we, like you said earlier, we secure the main line, right? We create an environment in which folks who historically had a really hard time being able to walk a yard and kind of live in peace, so to speak, right? Um,
Yeah.
can do so, right? Can take advantage of all the privileges and incentives, right? But it wasn't just that. It was also inspiring folks, building people up, right? Building up the manpower, not building them up to be better criminals, not building them up to be killers in a security sense in terms of weaponry training and that sort of stuff. Yes, building them up to be a good, uh, kind of well-oiled machine in that sense. But the goal was for those who sought it to try to advance while you're in prison, take advantage of if you're gonna go secure a yard and now the privileges and incentives are available to everybody, okay, but also use them, put yourself in a better position, go home and don't necessarily come back. Right now, if you choose to live a life like that, that's fine. That's when you're tapping in with the mob, right?
Right.
That's when you get into being a part of a criminal organization. You know what I mean? But in terms of just on the yard, you're just some dude from Northern California that pulled up. How do we, um, how do we, um, how do we improve you as a person, right? How do we
Right.
help you be a better, healthier, wiser, smarter, more disciplined version of who you came in as, right? And again, if
Right.
you want to go play a different game, then that's fine. This is a gateway to that. You know what I'm saying? Um, Whereas the NF is a criminal organization. It's a money making criminal organization, um, and I'm saying that not as like I'm not saying that necessarily as fact, but I'm saying that as my understanding
Right.
of the difference between the two. So for me personally, when I look at those two things, I lean the NR way 100%, right? Obviously, others lean the NF way, but the NF is still there. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
So,
Yeah. I mean, it's a mixed bag, bro. Um, they're both criminal organizations. Both of them.
mhm,
The NR, the concepts, the bonds, the format. There's a lot of good concepts.
mhm.
Um, things that they're supposed to be fighting for, and the things that they're striving for on paper. Yeah. Um, However, they still they're still they still share the same philosophy, same ideology. They still function. They function under the NF. They're they're still put. They still have the same agenda. You know what I mean? But you got to. I mean, and I know you know this already, but I mean, there would be no NR without the NF. They
Right.
created the NR, right? That's their baby. It's Corny's baby. And like some of these guys are saying too, the elders, you can't the NR got to a point where, in my opinion, they got to a point to where they got big headed, and they were cannibalizing too. That was the whole
Absolutely.
problem. The NF
Absolutely.
stood back and watched this creation, this movement that it created, turn on itself and started eating itself, man. These dudes were playing with the game, man. They took the category system and completely just fucking turned it upside down. Everybody was claiming to be a cat 3, right?
Right.
There was no checks and balances. There's like, who in the fuck? No, nobody had any kind of way. So I mean, everybody was claiming to be a high-ranking NR member, and then they were preying on the homies, man. Everybody wanted to be at a mono because they knew once they took that step, you automatically had rank and file over the non-structured street gang Norteños. And then they're bringing their problems, personal problems from the streets, all the things that are written in their bonds they were doing over women, over personal conflicts, personality clashes, you name it, bro. I think it's a little bit of both, man. But having function in both movements, I think the NF had better intentions. Now, what they were doing, there was a lot of foul shit going on, man. There was if the NF would have been, if they would have pushed the right agenda, and that same cause from the 70s and the 80s, we wouldn't even be having this conversation, man. Because the cause would have been the cause, and they would have been pushing for what they used to push for. They used to care about the main lines. They used to care about the homies that were getting taxed over there in Folsom. They used to care about the homies that were getting abused in Tehachapi. But they stopped. They stopped because they seen a gold mine, a way of making money on the streets, and that fucked everything up, man. Straight up. I said it before, man. There was no trickle down effect. It was a trickle up effect. They tapped into all this money, and a lot of the fellas at the top, man. They seen the potential, and the money started coming in, and that changed everything, bro. It changed everything. From the bottom to the top.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And I think I was gonna say, I think my opinion, not I think, I'm certain that my opinion on that and my view is also impacted by the fact that I didn't run across C's like that. Right? Like so I don't have a history with the old timers. You know what I mean? Even when I was in the SUT, like I wasn't spending time with and talking to and hearing from C's that had that mindset, right? That had that. And so for me, just as a homeboy, so to speak, right? Regardless of anything else, there was a real disconnect there, like and so and I'm sure that was probably part of it, right? Is I wasn't in those conversations, like I said, right? In terms of the debate and the wrestling and this and that. And so I don't know about that stuff from personal experience, but also I just didn't run across C's. Like I said, I've said before, Carlitos is really like the only C that I ran across that thought like a bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And and that was it. I know he's not the only one that has existed that way, right? Of course.
Yeah.
But I didn't have that exposure. And so it it's just a little different, and it's not something I lose sleep over now, but it I do wrestle sometimes with this idea of or this belief of like, hey, there's some redeeming qualities in the schooling that we got, and some redeeming qualities in the effort that some of us put into those around us, right? Um, but also let's not I'm not foolish enough or blinded enough to say, well, the NR had it figured out, because the abuse and everything happened there too, right? And that abuse, I think, was a that Northerners, so to speak, felt more directly than anything, because bros were the ones on the yards. Bros were the ones with authority. So a lot of bros you wasn't never gonna meet a C unless you see one on the streets, right? Or you got validated.
That's,
And
that's
so
true.
the the hand of oppression that they experienced was bros.
Yeah.
And that can't be forgotten or ignored either, right? And so that's the catch. You know what I mean? Is
Mhm.
is that just sort of that tension, you know?
Then that's well said, bro. But that's most absolutely, bro. That's true. A lot of the Northerners that were getting abused out there, that's exactly what they would have said. This movement, these hermanos, man, that's why I'm discouraged. It
Yeah,
wasn't the C's that were back there in the shoe, but um, yeah. So I don't know. It's convoluted, man. There's a lot. I have mixed feelings about all of it, man. Like I said, from functioning as a hermano for almost 6 years,
right.
um, and then functioning within the familia for as long as I did, almost shit, almost a good 10 years, man.
Mhm.
Uh, it was there was things going on in both the NF and the NR that it contributed to the whole movement
Yeah.
just falling apart, man. It was bad in the 90s. Man, bro, I remember during the when did you start going to prison?
96. I hit the main line in 96.
96. That's what I was gonna say. Like I remember around 96, man, when yeah, 96, 95, 95, maybe 90, even 94. But bro, used to go out to the 6 yard and motherfucking mossy deep out there, bro. There was a lot of homies out there. There were so many homies out there on the yard that we had to run two machinas.
Wow.
The camaraderie out there was off the chains, bro. The morale was high, man. The NR was strong, bro. They were strong.
Mhm.
You had a lot of good homies from all over, man. Not just the Bay Area, San Jose, all the way up the valley, all the way up to Fresno.
Mhm.
It was it was like no other time, bro. I
Mhm.
think around that time, that's when it peaked, and then that's when everything just it started to fall apart.
Yeah.
But I remember going out there to the 6 yard, man. I mean, you had hermanos, NF members, and Northerners out there. Like we were deep, bro. We were deep
Mhm.
as fuck, man. And I remember we used to work out.
Yeah.
We used to do machinas inside the building. You know, I used to run a push up routine after. I mean, we work out in the building like after we eat dinner. We do push ups like around 15 minutes after they run dinner, after they clean up and everything. And bro would be fifth tier going down, fourth tier going down, third tier. I mean, it was loud. There was a lot of
Yeah.
motherfucking homies, bro, and we were strong.
Yeah.
Uh, but and then everything started to go downhill, bro. But I remember,
Yeah.
man, it was crazy, bro. It was crazy going out, walking out to the 6 yard with cuffs and standing there looking at the yard and just seeing fucking homies out there just thick, bro, deep as
Right.
fuck, man. That I say that those are some of my fondest memories, and I'm not glorifying this stuff, but
Right.
being a part of that movement, man, it was, bro, and there was Baki, uh, all the homies from Salas that all got caught up, all the homies from the city, from San Jose, from everybody was deep, man. We had uh, was strong, bro. The
Mhm.
Norteño spirit back in those days was strong. And then everything fizzled out, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when I went to prison
Get your money,
and
hot sauce.
210 every morning. That's right. Um, I went to prison and and had a little experience in Quinn. Right, I did a video about it. Where there was some
Hold
kind of
on,
wake up
Gizmo.
calls and shit. Um, but but I realized there's something more to this, right? Like, this is not like the streets. All I had known is the
Yeah.
streets in juvenile hall, which was basically an extension of the streets, right? So um, that's all I had known. And then
Yeah.
I hit Quinn, and I'm like, okay, uh, and I'm like, okay, there's something more to this. Well, I want to be the best homeboy I could be, right? This is
Yeah.
this is all I've ever been, right? In my
Hold
whole
on,
life,
Gizmo.
in my whole massive 19 years on earth at that point, right?
Yeah.
That was the only thing I really had to hold on to was
Hold on, Gizmo. Hold on. Damn.
Gizmo. It was
Fucking dude, man. You can't see him on this fool.
no,
Gizmo.
I moved like I could see around the corner. Oh,
Man.
there he is. Yep, I'll see him.
What
I
do you
like the
want,
black.
man? He's like, come pet me, man. He's on his
Right,
back right now. That's what he
right,
does. He'll throw himself on the floor and be like, come here.
sure.
You got to hold on, partner. Um,
Yeah.
and to answer your question, frontline soldier, no, man, I've never had hands put on me by the homies for anything, bro.
Mm,
Let alone using drugs.
mm,
I never nobody ever caught me using drugs. Uh, you know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it. I've been transparent about the fact that I struggled with my addiction when I was active. When I was an active leader of the NF, when I was out there running regiments, there were times when I got strung out, straight up, man. But I hit it well. Um, Nobody ever knew. I wasn't running around like a junkie with holes in my shoes and shit, and I became very good at hiding it, man. Um, but even if I would have got caught, I don't know if I don't know of any C's that have had hands put on them. Like if you're gonna put hands on me, we're done. You know what I
right.
mean? Uh, you don't go that far, man. But there's a lot of C's that used to get caught, man, and they get warned or they get fined or they get stripped. Um, but I'm not trying to sound tough, but the hands-on discipline shit, I'm not with that, man. And I've never advocated for it either. I've never um, have had anybody do a hands-on discipline. Like if I'm gonna put a green light on you, um, it's gonna be a green light, and I'm gonna try to take your win, man. Straight up. If I'm gonna go that far to have somebody put hands on you, then they might as well cut you up or stick something in you. That's the way I used to think, and that's the way I used to move. I used to operate, man. But what do you think about that, man? Hands-on discipline. I was never a fan of that, and I didn't believe in it, and I didn't really know too many. I mean, I know what was going on, but I never seen it. Was never a part of it.
Was that a was that considered a violation to do that? Right. In other words, according to NF teachings, Because my understanding was, but obviously you would know better, that hands-on removals was unacceptable. Not just like it's not a good idea, but you're not allowed
Right.
to be running around putting hands on people, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But I've heard it. Like I've heard people talk about it. Like
Mhm.
where the fuck was I at, man? Because I've never seen it, and I would never allow it. Never, man. Good looking out, big figures, man.
Yeah, off top.
I was discouraged early on being out in the streets, early age of red blood conflict, just because. Yeah, I hear you, boy. Yeah, like I never seen it, was never a part of it. I've heard of it happening before. Maybe it happened in some of these prisons and some of these main lines where there's some hermanos that's
Yeah, I
what they
seen it
do.
happen.
Yeah, shit, it was a no as far as I know, man.
Yeah,
I don't know, you know.
that's what I've heard from others, but I heard in particular after Black Widow and after there was kind of the power play that it became a lot more common. Um, even back there in the shoe, it became a lot more common
Yeah,
for folks to just get an ass whooping as discipline. Um, the uh, the only I've seen it once, and that was in Quentin, um, with a homeboy from 18th Street in the city, who had come from YA in reception, and he whatchamacallit. Oh, it was raining outside. We had to go to yard. Obviously, there's no cover on the yard, right? You're right on the water in Carson. We had to go to yard. Homeboy just has a little paper jumpsuit, whatever he had just got there. So he's like, "Fuck that! It's raining and cold outside. I ain't going out there." Right?
yeah,
And so the homeboy, but they had already been questioned. I actually got in trouble for that. Um, I'll talk. For those of you guys who want to go back, I talk about my San Quentin video, but it's not really a complicated thing. They were questioning if he was a northerner. They were questioning if he was a homeboy, and I was like, I know that dude from the streets. I know him from juvenile hall, and yes, absolutely, he's a homeboy. But his only tattoo is like XV3 and something else on him, and 18. And so they were like, "Hey, this fool got 18th Street on him. He's trying to slide through." I was like, "Nah, bro, he's from the city."
Chicho.
And, no, it wasn't Chucho, but one of his homeboys is dude Pollo, right? And so and so there were some questions, and they had asked me if I co-signed for him, and I said, "Yeah." I've been in prison like a month, bro, and even from what I remember going through San Quentin, there wasn't even no HHPs passed around. Like your celly told you, basically. Your celly told you, "Hey, here you go, bro." There wasn't a lot of paper being shot, around, and so, but for whatever reason, homeboy stayed inside. I don't know if he had been told he couldn't or not. I don't know, but I co-signed for him, and then he didn't come out to the yard, and so the homeboys went and tipped him up at his cell, right? I think it was at yard recall, whatever, but Quentin, the bar locked, all the fucking cells open. So they went in there, two homeboys, tipped him up, not in the face, but gave him some good body shots and caught him with a little face shot. And then he was lumped up, bro. Like he couldn't move around too well. So from then on, he stayed in his cell and he didn't go to dinner or to breakfast. But the homeboys would bring him back food, and when he was able to carry himself without looking like he'd been in a fight, then he came back out and he programmed. But they got at me and was like, "Hey, bro, you co-signed for that fool, so
Hold on.
so you're in trouble." And I was like, I'm in trouble. He chose not to come to the yard. You know what I'm saying? He ain't my celly. Right?
That's not on you.
And they're like, "No, because when you co-sign for somebody, you co-sign that they're going to function in the household according to this and that." I don't even know what the fuck that shit means. You know what I mean? Like all I said was he's a northerner, and I'm right.
Yeah.
But there was goofy shit happening over. That's why I said, I went through there and I caught a few lessons going through San Quentin. Like, okay, but that's the only time I saw hands-on discipline, though. And I would have never I've never been in favor of it. It had come up a few times before from people, and I'm like, no, we don't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
This ain't the streets, bro. You don't jump people in and jump people out and all that other stuff. You know what I mean? It's if you're a loved one, you're a loved one, and if you're not anymore, then you get removed. You put hands on somebody, they become a threat off
right.
top. You know what I mean? And yeah, so
I
that
got
was
you,
my
Valeria. I got you, Valeria. But you gotta start coming through, man. You don't come through no more. I remember you used to
yeah.
come through all the time. Now it's like, man, you ain't messing with us
For the
no more,
streets,
man.
homie.
You know what I'm saying? I'm messing with you. Hey Bruno, it's happened a couple times. Um, I've
Oh,
been I've been recognized a few times. Uh, Different outcomes, man. I've had a couple situations. And I'm gonna talk about it in the Inner Demons episodes. I just didn't want to give nobody uh that kind of credit, you know what I mean? Because I don't want it to seem like I'm out here running, man. No. I do everything that you guys do. And it's not like I'm doing it because I'm flaunting, I'm thumbing my nose at anybody. I mind my own business, and I
right.
try to live as much of a normal life as I can. And there's been situations where I've end up crossing paths with cats, and initially when I first came home, I had a chip on my shoulder, from having to go through the shit that I did. But I was like, you know what? When I see cats, man, I'm gonna go off of however they respond, and that's how I'll respond, man. If they wanna play super active, then you know what I mean. We'll go that route. If they want to extend their hand, which they did 9 times out of 10, um, then I'm cool with that too, man. You know what I mean? There's a couple times where I ran into some individuals that recognized me, and because they weren't by themselves, you know what I mean? It went funny, man.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? It went funny, and uh, I responded the same way I did not too long ago when I went and tried to have me some motherfucking nachos, man. You know what I'm
Nachos and
saying?
horchata.
So
Fucking
yeah, just some motherfucking some Mexican food, man. You know
right.
what I mean? Mexican can't even get some damn food. But seriously, man, uh, I'll talk about it. But I've had my situations, man. I'm not out there like that. I'm not out there too. I mean, I just don't run the streets like that no more, man. You know what I
Right.
mean? But
Too old for that shit.
yeah, for real, man. I'll slide through my hood every now and then. I'll go out there. There might be times when I go out and I do something. I'll go out with a little homie or something, or I'll go to a barbecue, or I run into somebody. It doesn't happen that often, man. It's not like it's happening all the time when I'm out here getting into fucking all kind of, but it has happened.
Hey, Box,
Ready to get up out of here?
time for me to call
All right,
tonight, bro.
yeah, man. We gonna cut it, man. We'll be back tomorrow. There's Hopefully I get this content to Sandman. Inner Demon should be out, man. Let me see. Let me just check
I
real
think they
quick. It
said it
should
is.
be out. Huh?
Yeah. I
It's
think
out.
somebody commented and said it is. Yeah.
So Sandman released it. That's good, man. Where is it? Let me see. Yeah, it's out, man. It's an hour and 16 minutes. God damn. Um, I had did that. I'd actually did that 2 days ago, and I just didn't like it, man. My mind was fucking somewhere else, and I redid it. But it's out. Like I said, man. Back on track. Try to get my mojo back.
There
Um,
you go.
there's still 234 cats in there, man. I appreciate you guys showing us
Yeah.
that support, man. Me and Josh gonna start um you know trying to do these lives more often, man. And,
Mhm.
and touch on a lot of topics. You guys got a topic you want us to touch on, put them in the community. Put them in the comment section somewhere. And we'll cut it up. Yeah, Gizmo looks like my little Chihuahua baby Bow Wow. Gizmo's a motherfucker, man. Look at her. Gizmo, where you at, boy?
He's like, I'm right here waiting for you.
Lay down on the floor again, huh?
He said, I'm right here. I've been waiting for you.
There he is. You could barely see him.
Yeah.
See him. Yeah, we're gonna try to make it more often. So we'll jump on his channel over here. You guys, for those of you guys that are just sliding through, man, he's got a good channel, man. The Homie Hangout. Check him out, man. We support his channel. So sometime I'll jump on over there. But again, man, we appreciate you guys, your support. I'll try to get another profile out tomorrow that you guys are gonna like this one. And then again, man, as far as what I said earlier, the homie should be coming on this week. You guys are gonna like that too, man. I promise you. Like I said earlier, I don't throw that word out too often, legendary, but this cat falls up under that title, man. You know what I mean? It's somebody he's part of history. For those of you that are familiar with the history and the shit that went down in those 92 indictments, it's in the books, man. So I'm looking forward to that conversation. Good, sharp, humble dude. That's what we're gonna get into it, man. You know what I mean? Other than that,
be in the chat for that one, boy. I'm for sure gonna be in the chat for that one.
Yeah, but you got to jump in sometime, after maybe the first time or something. I'm gonna try to get them on as keep sliding through, because I know that people are gonna have a lot of stuff that they're gonna want them to get into, and together. I got a lot of stuff I want to just get them to confirm. You know what I mean? Stuff that I've talked about before, and then some other stuff that I want them to not confirm. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's about time, man. There's another C from that came from that era that when I was out there functioning back in those days, that can shed some more enlightenment on some stuff, man. And that whole 92 regiment and the shit that was going on when Mad Dog was out in Stockton, and the leadership structure was a little different. You had the RSD, the OGB, and Cap. It was just a whole different. The whole different. The leadership structure was different, and a lot of shit was going on. So there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to learn from you guys. So I'm gonna get them on as soon as I can. You guys got more questions, man? Put them in the comment section for the next Q&A.
Somebody had messaged me one too, so it's same thing. You could leave them here on Box's channel. If you've been by my channel, you know how to get a hold of me through social media, email, or whatever. So either one of us shoot it. Somebody had texted me a little bit earlier.
You do Q&As too?
Oh, I got a couple pages of questions. I just got to sit down and do it. But I mean, in terms of us and our conversation, just
I get a lot of questions, and I still believe I still have some left over from you guys because they shoot a lot of good questions, man. Right. Lot of these guys got a lot of good questions. But anyway, man. Again, man, we appreciate you guys' support, man. Remember, we got the raffle coming up this weekend. The gas cards. We're gonna be raffling off the Jordans. For those of you that aren't aware, it's $3 a ticket. There's no limit on tickets. These are the Jordans right here. I got about 20 pairs in my closet. These are the ones that are going this next. We've already given out I don't know how many pairs, but these are 12 and a half and 13s. If you guys are not 12 and a half, 13s, and you win, you have the option of telling me what your size is, and I'll get you your size.
That's
A lot of them come with T-shirts on eBay. They sell them together, and a lot of them have T-shirts that come with them that are color, whatever you call it, color match, color coordinated, whatever. Um, so we got that coming up this weekend. The raffle. I'll be giving away gas cards as well, raffling off gas cards and a couple books. For those of you that have been asking about the book, man, I'm trying, man. I'm trying to do this content and get the book done at the same time. It's just, I wish the days were like 4 hours longer so I could have more time to do everything. But I'm trying to put the same amount of time into everything I'm doing, man. Anyway, with that being said, man, again, we appreciate you guys, man. Still 191 in the houses.
So check out Inner Demons after this. If you're still up and you want to watch some YouTube content, there you go.
Yeah, man. That's right. Check out Inner Demons. It's up now. If not, it'll be up tomorrow. Those of you that listen to that kind of stuff when you go to work or something, or jump in the truck and it's something for tomorrow. It's an hour 15 minutes. Anyway, with that being said, man, you know what time it is, man. Let me do my little thing real quick. All right, AC Barra S1. AC Bar S1, Tiny Two Angel, Sean Whelan, Everlasting Bass, Themo, Fast Ass Dave, Bruno, Larry de Los Angeles. All right, Frontline Soldier, No, AC Lopez Jr., Tino the Mino, Big Figures 408. All right, Munchie. You had a lot of good stuff, man. I was reading all your comments, man. We appreciate that. You know what I mean? I try to throw up as many as I could. All right, AZ. All right, Wendy. It's good to see you again. I ain't seen you in a minute. Spider-Man, Hypervigilance, Big Droops, ESSJ, Sam Romero, Valeria Perez. Come on, Valerie. You got to start coming around. You know you got that wrench coming. Jack of all trades, Paul. Appreciate you too, Paul. Jahid Amir. N8, AV, The City 18, Dizzle 916. Hot Sauce. Man, I'm fresh out the box. Lieutenant Dan, Paul, Sparky Buff, Vegas Prison Stories, Hollywood Hugo, MSGR, going blind, boy. OC714, Hollywood Hugo, Technician 5493, AC Ibarra, John Doe, Hot Sauce, Casper Corleone, Lori Wilson, Mashika, I Will Steal Your Girl.
Treat her wrong.
If you treat her wrong. That's right. All right, Artie Marin, H2O Restoration, Inc., Spinal, Big June, Famero, appreciate you, Famero. Timas, Geopar, Certified In, Robert Wilson, Renee Q, Fresno's Finest. Let me go. Mike, Miguel Cepeda, Catch, Kitty 123, Chapo Guzman. Now let me go up to the top and see who's here when he first came on. Maquinalisto, Ghost Watching, Ace Tone, Mario Rosa, Junior ASAP 831, Manuel Martinez, Chupa mi verga. They always like saying that, man. Chupa mi verga. David M209, Christian Bernal, Avila, Matt 510, Ain't No Thing But a Chicken Wing, Julie Tolson, Nefarious, Way Too Real, Michael's Auto Repair, Washington Town 123, Dan Wutsky, T-Mac AZG, Esteban Ariano, GS, Cubstero, The Homie Hangout, 510 Big Dog, Battle 559, Sound Fran 415er, AG, Oakland Latinos United, Gringo Living, Eddie Aguilar, Narcisco Espinoza, Steel 831, Paradigm Media News, Homeboy 1083, S1, Ronnie, I said it earlier, Ronnie Aparicio. Hope I said that right. Aparicio. Mr. 209, 1083, Homeboy 1083, Mark 9400, Fresh Heaven 5. Mr. Payaso 69, Daydreamer, Maquinalisto, Hypervigilance, Sergio Velasquez, Yard Recall with the Buzz, Vincent Saldana, Robert Wilson, and anybody else that we might have missed, man. Ain't No Thing But a Chicken Wing, Everlasting Bass, Spider-Man, Manuel Ramirez, AZ Gunslinger, Jorge, Cadillac Chris, GC, Professional Teller, Farmland Bullies, G's, Damage, Morgan Hill, Game Time 501, Aztec Trojan, Gino Cavarubius, Esteban Ariano, and everybody else, man. Appreciate you guys. Have a good night. Stay safe. Be safe, man. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Tap in, man. Appreciate all you guys. All right, Josh, man. Thank you, my brother, man. Next time you want to do it on the Homie Hangout, just let me know when, man. I'll come over there and show my support over there as well, bro. Appreciate it. For those of you that care, Sandman, Whack Deuce too, man. Whack Deuce, man. I didn't forget about your boy. Whack Deuce Against the Grain. Sandman says his Wi-Fi died out. That motherfucker sleep, knocked out, fucking fetal position with his fucking feet hanging off the bed. What an ugly sight, man. But that's what's up.
At least he got the inner demons put out. Hey, Weddle Scarface, I don't know about you being blocked from the channel. I'll have to look into it. I don't generally block people, bro. That's I'll check. My mods do sometimes though, so let me look into it.
What do you say? You got blocked on your channel?
Yeah. So I'll go look.
I had the same problem, man, with some of these moderators that got an agenda, man. People got blamed for it that didn't have nothing to do with it. It's some bullshit, man. But, all right, Josh, man. I'm out, man. You guys have a good night, man. I appreciate all you guys, man. Real talk. All right, bro.